start over.
All right.
My dogs. Hey, poop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
We got bars
Now
now.
we get sound. Hi. Welcome to Real Dumb.
Remix.
Where we are real dumb and we fuck up our shit.
Hey.
The Pixie Six are still clumpy though. Like, it's
Yeah.
not good.
I'm Chris. Matt's not here. He's in Texas.
It's like
Radio Clown. It's whatever.
Howdy,
Raider,
campers.
Cornelius Braxford, Eggleston III,
Cody Brax.
and our
Cobra Axe is... Cobra Axe.
You had a Mortal Kombat character, dude.
And, yeah, Brian, if you want to...
Oh, okay. We'll try this again. Okay, so for tonight's question, we've got best war movie of all time, best musical biopic of all time, best product placement in film, and best party movie of all time. The winner, first to 5 points, drum roll please, will receive this skull belt buckle.
Holy shit! There's a
As a
fucking
trophy.
prize.
That's right. This thing's got some weight to
Oh,
it, ladies and
no.
gentlemen. You're gonna want to stick around and win this motherfucker.
Oh right. Fuck you, Matt. We got prizes when you're not here.
Before you start, plug your channel.
Oh yeah. So, guys, I run a podcast called The Snappy Hour. Go to Facebook and search The Snappy Hour, or go check out our podcast everywhere that podcasts are downloaded. It's a stupid podcast where we drink and say a lot of stupid shit. You'll like it. We had live music last night, so
It was
we had a
good.
band on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good.
What
All right. Well, you ready to kick this thing off?
Yeah, fuck
Yes.
you, Chris.
All right.
are we doing first?
You're cool.
I'm just going to
Cornelius.
sit here.
I
right?
know. Yeah.
No,
So, first question of the evening, which is Rainer's question: best war movie of all time.
so are we going to go... How are we doing this?
Well, we're going to start with Rainer because it's his question, and then we're going to
Yeah.
go down as
But-
always.
Is it synopsis or just picking it, like a little short thing, or how do you want...
I was just gonna say a little bit,
Okay.
but not.
Yeah, announce the movie, give it a line or two, and then I'll let you go into it. So, Rainer, your pick.
I went and rewatched this because there are a lot of movies to pick from, and I've watched a lot of war movies. I didn't want to go too far back. I thought about doing The Longest Day, but that's like a 4-hour investment of my time. So I went with The Thin Red Line. It's a little different than your typical war movie. It's not all gung-ho, be the best. It has a lot of underlying themes and tones that make it the best war movie of all time because it's something a little different than what you usually get.
I chose a movie based on Rainer's fantastic love of movies. He has great taste in movies. I chose Rainer's favorite film of all time, Starship Troopers, as the best war movie because it is just perfectly satirizes war itself, but also expresses that like every facet of war and its effect on society as a whole. And it's bloody as fuck.
It is.
It's good. It's the best movie ever.
I picked Full Metal Jacket, even though that's a cliche one that most people would probably pick, but I believe it was done in a sense that makes it more of like war is kind of a horror story, and filmed by Stanley Kubrick, it makes it feel like that. Like, it makes you uncomfortable. And like nobody or even knew what they were doing there as far as the war itself goes. I think it was like a social commentary of it.
Okay, so I just want to knock yours real quick.
Okay.
And it's going to be the biggest knock. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's a good movie. I can't say it's not. I like watching it, but to the everyday person, they know 2 scenes max.
No.
Your movie seems like 3 or maybe even 4 different movies all set into one conglomeration of Vietnam. Everybody just remembers the boot camp scene. That doesn't even have to be
not a boot
war.
camp scene,
It doesn't
though.
even have to be war
No other-
based.
no
Anybody
other
you can go
movie
to
has shown
you can go to
how
boot camp
is, though.
whenever there's a war or
not
not.
really.
Thank you very much.
Yours
for
has.
that.
But I think
Yours
that's a
did.
big problem. Is it's
I
just
got,
too
like,
much
don't
going
boot
on,
camp shit in
and
my shit.
Yeah.
there's too much going on in the sense of
I don't
it's
think
it's
there is.
very there's it's like 4 different things. You have boot camp, then you have them like living, and then you have Joker trying to be a journalist, and then he has to go fight and they kill a little girl. Spoiler.
All right, so that's what you said too. You just called him Joker. They had real names in the beginning. What my movie had was the fact that military and boot camp desensitizes you and changes you from a person to a killer, which it didn't for Joker. He tried to like say that kind of stuff to people, like say I'm a killer, like I want this to be, like he wanted to, like saying the things that he thought people wanted him to say, but he really wasn't.
And that
Found out- But
I-
you know what? But it showed boot camp like breaking people down like that. But also the thing with Full Metal Jacket was what I think, and I mean it's never like in the movie. They don't discuss who was actually enlisted purposely or who was actually
drafted.
So you get people like Joker and Private Pile, which probably mentally should not have been in there anyway. They lead him on as an early character that's like, and Joker has to like help him, and he wants to, but at the same time they break Joker down too, where like that soap scene, like he don't want to do it, but everybody else is like, do it,
and
he
that's,
does,
and
that's what the military is.
That's fine, and I think Thin Red Line.
But then at the
has,
end of it, the best part of that, the best part of the whole scene that you said it was, which is half the movie, it is the best
It's
part
still
of
disjointed and feels separate from the movie.
it. Feels like 2 different movies, but that's kind of why, because it's like you feel like that's what I would feel like. Like I wouldn't want to be there. I'd
Yeah,
be
but
smart.
you can display the same thing without like
But could you do it better?
separating fucking.
Dude, and
Could you do
a
it
better way
better?
you can do
Could
that.
you do it better? Have you fucking seen Starship Troopers?
Yes, lots of
It's
times.
fucking way better, dude.
It's not way.
I
It's a
honestly,
great
I
movie,
think,
but-
I think their boot camp scenes are
Like,
pretty comparable.
You
It
were
depends on
mentioning like
how you
how
want to do it.
fucking in your opening you said something about how it displays the horror of fucking.
It does, because a lot of the shots
Oh,
are
of
filmed
lore.
like kind of the same way
But,
as
like-
like The Shining almost. Like a lot of the boot camp scenes.
Do
look
you know what
like
the shots
Shining.
in my movie were shot like? Trying
on
from Will.
a computer.
You say on a computer?
Yeah, I mean,
No, they use a lot of practical shit in the movie as well.
They
There's
do,
a
but
lot of
there is
CG.
there is a
CG
lot
fucking
of
holds up.
CG.
it does.
It
I agree.
fucking
I
holds
mean,
up better than like half
it
CG.
might hold up,
That
but like
mine has no.
your
none.
your whole enemy is a fake enemy in your movie.
No,
So
the
they're not.
enemy
I
in the
mean,
movie is
but in
fucking
the
bug
in the
because
movie, but they're CG. They're not actually fighting people. The bugs kind of like they're just there. And honestly, they just want to attack. They were just mad
because that's
because
what
we were
war
taking
is.
over.
War is fighting a faceless enemy, and that's why they use bugs in that.
That's
Like,
but
what is more universally hated
the Thin Red Line.
than a bug?
the Thin Red Line
that's the
shows
ultimate
that
enemy that
perfect.
you can
Has
show
what?
an audience,
What the
and
Thin
the
Red
audience
Line?
instantly understands.
Thin
oh,
Red
that's the
Line
enemy.
is
I want them to die. That's why they use fucking.
but the
The
Thin Red Line.
has beautiful.
Beautiful.
Snapshots.
It's great. Their battle scenes are
Like-
great
like,
because it's a
I could-
faceless enemy. They
I
have
could-
to fight.
I could put
This,
that
they
as
know
my
there's
back-
a bunker there. They don't know how many people are there. And what I think is great about it is it begins with the guy who went AWOL,
So
and he's
boring.
trying to be out of the movie, out of this war because he wants to find beauty. He's in the middle of a war. He found beauty in this one spot, and he ends up having to go back. And Sean Penn. I don't even talk
You
about
had
the
like
cast.
50 people in the cast.
That's
But
the
you
best
talk-
part.
No, you
That's
talk
the
about
best
your
part I
cast.
think about.
Your cast had people that were.
The cast is great because it shows a
No.
lot of war is focused, like in both of yours, focused on one group. Okay, it's like a group of 5 to 10 soldiers. In Thin Red Line, there's so many cameos, and I appreciate that because if you're
But
in a major
that's-
battle, a
that's-
major
you're-
campaign,
you're
there's just going to be
Oscar
faces and faces and faces and faces.
Yours
So
was
if they're in the
Oscar
movie
bait.
for
Okay,
5
but-
minutes,
but
that's a
yours was
perfect
Oscar
example
bait.
of what
Like,
war is
yours-
because somebody
yours
goes down,
had all
somebody
these
goes up.
established actors that they just put in the movie just to.
No, they didn't
Just-
put him. It's because
Yes,
they wanted
they
to be
did.
in Terrence
They-
Malick's film. He's
Yeah,
one of these
okay,
most
well, that's fine,
acclaimed
but I
directors,
remember
and
that
he doesn't
movie-
make movies.
I
So everybody's
remember
like,
when
boom,
that
we're
came
gonna
out. When
have
that shit
this
came out, it had like
We're gonna
7,
act
like everybody's in it. Like Woody Harrelson, blah, blah, John Cusack, everybody's in it.
it's
It's
literally
boring as
got
shit.
everybody.
Like it didn't.
But there's nothing wrong with that. It's
There-
not.
okay,
it
right.
wasn't to get people.
it
It's
didn't,
to
it
show
didn't make
how
people's
war.
careers, though.
It's to show how
like
war
for-
can. It just has all these faces.
Sucks.
You might
It's
know them.
boring.
You might know them. It's boring, yeah, and that's a great way
movie's
to
boring
depict
as hell,
to pick
but-
war. No, it's not boring. There's a great one of the best battle scenes and like war scenes I've ever seen is once they finally take the bunker after the captain's like, I don't want to do that. We're gonna get killed. They use flank maneuver. They get rid of the bunker and then they run through like their camp. And there are Japanese soldiers just sitting there, just like praying. They don't want to die. They're running around,
There's that guy
and
in the
it's really brutal. And it shows what war is. It shows how men just turn into these animals.
Okay.
Yet there are still some that are just like focused on like it's my life. I don't want to be here. There's beauty here. If
This
I die, I
is
die.
how-
And it goes on both sides. And then it doesn't
I
even
can't
end.
talk with Rainer. I'm
It's-
just sit.
So you said my movie follows 4 characters. It does, but it introduces you initially to the 4 characters. You fucking know this because it's your goddamn favorite movie. But you follow those 4 characters throughout their separate branches of the military.
Well, you technically really
like,
only
it's so
you technically
cheesy.
only
You
follow
follow Johnny.
3.
Well,
You
yeah.
follow 3.
Johnny and
Neil
Denise
Patrick Harris's
Richard
character.
and-
That was a name grab for that movie because Doogie Howser
Yeah.
and what he was trying to become a better actor. So they grabbed him. If we want to talk about actors being in a movie to get money,
That wasn't even like
That-
his comeback.
He was in there for the beginning, and then he shows up a little bit, and then at the end,
because the
he's
movie
he's
itself
like, "Oh, I
fucking
knew."
follows
I
the characters
knew.
through,
Chris,
like,
I'm
through
sorry.
different branches
It's
of the-
just
You shut
not
the
the
fuck up.
best war movie.
It is,
It's
though.
not.
It is though.
No.
It's not even a real
It's
war.
really
is
not.
the biggest problem I have with a war movie. Your movie
What
doesn't
wars
come
are actual wars though?
all of them. Especially World War II. Vietnam's
Vietnam-
actually not a war; it's
No,
a conflict
but, you
because
know,
we never
fuck off.
declared war.
But what I was-
Anyway,
what I was gonna say
Starship
is, too-
Troopers is not. It doesn't come across to anybody
but
as a war film.
it
It is a
is, though.
sci-fi. It's a satire
A
sci-fi.
sci-fi
film.
adventure.
About
It's-
war.
Yeah, it has war, but what sci-fi movie
War-
really doesn't
wars
kind of?
against
There's a
bugs.
lot of war. There's always war going on.
What sci-fi movie doesn't have fucking
There's
war?
always-
Hitchhiker's Guide.
There's a war. They're
um,
trying to destroy Earth. That's war. If we want to go into it,
Trying to
there's
destroy
the
Earth.
Vogons or whatever.
They're
They're
not trying to
trying to.
destroy Earth. They filed the paperwork.
Yeah, they're trying to destroy Earth because
It's
they
not
have
a
to make
war,
a
though.
highway. But there's a war. There's always a war in any sci-fi or any story. There's always a war. You call
Okay,
it a
exactly.
conflict,
So
whatever.
therefore, it fits the fucking movie.
Yeah, I get that, but
fits
it's
that
not
shit.
what you think of as a war film. You're gonna think of that as a satire to society and I guess military
Honestly,
life,
Chris,
but not war in itself.
Star Wars.
No, it-
Star Wars
It
would
is
have
a
been a better
representation
choice.
of the progression of human evolution as far as war goes. If we continue on the path that we're going, that's how our fucking military system will be fucking run, and the military system will be all of society.
And then and as a counterpoint, you
In
take
some-
the thin red
in
line
some-
where you take
in
beauty
some,
in this chaos,
countries
and
they
that
still
could make
are,
it a
though.
better world
Like some
because it's
countries,
gotta
they
happen.
make you go in the military still. Like I think
Yeah.
Switzerland, like to be a citizen of.
No, you have
country
to.
that you-
Israel, a lot of
There-
we're
there's a
one
lot
of the
of them that
few
still do.
voluntary.
I mean, I hadn't brought that up, but like, yeah, I can
do it.
talk about that. There's you have,
You have
That's
to be,
fucked
but
up.
you can also become a citizen if you work hard and earn it.
Well-
It's not just military; that guarantees citizenship.
But you're not.
You don't just you can earn your
And most of
citizenship
the
in
people in
Starship
it-
Troopers.
go through fucking the military because that's
Except Johnny Rico's family, they're citizens.
no,
they're
they're
rich.
fucking
They're
rich.
rich.
They're rich because, but they're
Super rich.
citizens. They earn their citizenship. You can earn your citizenship
It's just.
in that society in a lot of different ways. Just military guarantees
And
it.
how does that not reflect like real shit? Even
Because
if it's
it-
a sci-fi
because it
fucking
does.
movie?
Because
Because
it could
it
be
does,
peacetime.
though.
It's like his with the boot
It
camp. It,
does,
could be
though.
peacetime. Mine
But
is
the-
set in
the-
a
the
war
two
the whole
options
time.
in
They're
life-
always
No, no,
at
no.
war.
Lots of
in
fucking
my
people
movie.
that have joined the military.
There's
who
not
were
one- there's
not rich. They
one
needed
scene.
money and needed a job, so they joined the military because
So-
that's their fucking option. Which is what.
But
this
that doesn't
movie is.
have anything
Being
about
rich
war, though.
or like.
That's just because you join the military doesn't mean you're at war.
But it does in a
And
war
they weren't at
movie,
war
which is what this movie
When
is.
he joined the military, they were not at war. The bugs sent the thing, blew up
So if my-
No,
Buenos
it's
Aires.
a fucking
I
war
can't
that's
be talking.
been like fucking.
No, they
going
just
on
hate.
for a
They
little
just
bit.
hate the bugs. They
Because
they're
it's
trying
the
to.
perfect fucking.
No, because they're trying to take
bugs.
over planets, and then the bugs finally attack. And then I don't want to get into it because that's not what I'm trying to argue. Is about how like
It's really
how stupid this
too,
movie
though.
is.
How
but
do the bugs
like,
get to Earth?
They don't get to Earth. They shoot an
No, but
asteroid
how-
out of their
they-
thing. They have
Out
that.
of their butthole. Or
Well, no, they
something,
have
right?
the technology because they're more technologically
But how?
advanced. with
There's
the bugs
also-
and
They,
whatnot.
there's
the
also
bugs
the
don't even
perspective-
have a spaceship. So
They can shoot. They use
human
bugs.
beings and
Brain bug. What
year?
brain bug?
That year or
Brain bug.
There's
Movie-
also the perspective from it that like the asteroid might not even been sent by the arachnids or whatever the fuck they call
No,
it. The
totally,
fucking bugs.
totally.
The
was.
arach-
It is
They
fucking,
are the arachnids, they're called.
But like, it could have just as easily been a fucking military ploy to spark up more shit about the fucking war. Because at that point, society was ran by the military. They have to keep some sort of fucking issue going, which is what the goddamn military does.
It makes no fucking sense that like
It's
the
not- it's
bugs
not-
could even get here. Like
They don't want to. That's the
Yeah,
whole
It
point.
should've just
The whole
went-
point.
no, no, no,
I don't
no,
want to
no,
get. We'll
also-
talk about
we're
this
also-
in the
with the bugs-
in the
bugs,
thing.
we're also
I'll tell
in the
you all
movie
about the
invading
bugs.
their shit,
How do
which
the,
is what
how do the bugs even
America
get
does.
there?
It's
though?
a good
Like, they
satire
didn't-
on
did they
military,
fly
not
through
war.
space?
We go that's what the military does is war. That's the
They don't
purpose
always
of the
know
military.
they're peacekeepers.
No,
Big difference.
they're not.
There's a
You
lot.
don't keep
Only
peace with a fucking gun.
America's a lot.
You don't
is
keep
one
peace
of
with a
the
gun.
few.
Stupid.
You can.
The
Nobody's
reason
gonna
that
shoot you if I have
you
a
don't.
gun.
the reason that I think mine
And when you do keep peace with a gun, you end up with a military displayed in this fucking movie.
I get that, but like in my mind, it's not a war movie. Yours is. The problem I have with Full Metal Jacket again is just its disjointedness. It shows more about.
that's why
about
it
life.
is.
and
That's why it's the best movie because it makes you feel
You're
like
sa- alright,
you
so-
don't want to be
and
in
then-
this
You're,
fucking
saying, you're
war.
saying you don't see this as a war movie because your movies are about actual conflicts, where my movie is about the way war shapes society.
No, it doesn't. It just shows the group of soldiers becoming more like ruthless and merciless.
What even
That
happened
doesn't
in your
show
movie? Does
anything
anybody
about society.
remember it?
What did you have for fucking lunch today, dude? You don't remember shit. I'm not gonna like sit here and,
And-
like.
and-
I had
explain the
fucking
plot.
and you guys,
Oscars
like-
for lunch.
like,
I
and-
ate
and the-
fish. It
The,
was
the
good.
thin red
Fish and
line
French
is
fries.
it's all in this like it's a 2-day sort of thing, and then at the end they all get back together, and then it's got a pretty sad ending, but it's beautiful in its own
Rainer,
way.
how about you make this into your closing argument?
So the Thin Red Line, it's not your typical war movie. It looks great. There's great battle sequences. There's one of the best battle sequences I've ever seen is when they're going through that Japanese camp. But all in all, the whole point of it is to show, A, there's going to be face after face after face instead of just following the same group of people. It's war, people die, people have to like lose command. And it's about finding beauty in all this chaos, and that's not a thing war movies usually bring out because you have to find some beauty in what you're doing or you're not going to agree or want to keep going on and on and on. And I think that's one of the best themes about this this movie, and that's why it makes it so great because it's so different. The only film I can kind of compare to is maybe All Quiet on the Western Front from the 30s. It has the same sort of themes, but it's completely from a different point of view. Starship Troopers, that's a sci-fi movie. It's a satire movie. It's almost comedy gold. It's a great movie. But to me, it's not a war film. It's just showing you how Johnny Rico becomes leader of the Roughnecks, Rico's Roughnecks. And then Full Metal Jacket, another good movie. We all picked fantastic
Great
things
movie.
to watch. It's just too disjointed, and nobody remembers anything but the first 30 minutes or so with Private Pyle and Arlie Ermey being the boot camp leader. Again, like I said, Thin Red Line. I didn't even name all the things that got accolades for. It's all-star cast, which we're only in there for 5 minutes, again, showing how military is just like boom, boom, boom. Got to do this. Sometimes somebody's got to step up. Sometimes you just kind of die or hit the background. I think it's a great movie, great themes, very different than most typical military war films.
Right, so I picked Starship Troopers because in my mind it is the best war movie because, like I mentioned, it is about how war shapes everything. It's not about a war, it's about just the effects of war. It's based on a fucking novel that everyone, or not even everyone, it's the novel it's based on is blatantly pro fucking military and very like right wing, and the movie itself is a satirization of the fucking source material. But it's just full of these like fucking imagery of like fucking nationalism and that effect of when you have the military drive what society is, drive like class systems and like just everything about that. It has the best fucking villain, I guess you would say, enemy of a war movie because they literally take something that like the audience is absolutely and completely already like grossed out of with like using bugs as the enemy. What better thing can an audience just like gravitate and like, okay, that's the bad guy, I want that thing to die because that's the purpose of the movie. The movie is promoting, given it's a satire, but it's promoting this war machine ethic in mind, which is what the military is. It's always wanting to push itself forward and cycling within itself. The brilliant thing really is the movie is like it's very heavy with these fucking themes of being in. It's a very anti-military movie. Like I said, there's scenes with
I think we all picked anti-military movies.
Oh, yeah. but like it has like scenes that are directly replicated of or like shot for shot like adaptations of fucking propaganda films. But like the brilliant thing about it is like the action and gore and all that shit of the movie, because you as a viewer get sucked into it and it hooks you with that like you kind of embody the mentality that of the characters like watching it. You get very engrossed in it. You're like, fuck yeah, fuck those bugs up. And then it's like, oh, why do I feel that way? They're just bugs on their own planet.
Well, I think that's, if I can go into my closing note,
Yeah, go for it.
I think that's kind of where I went with Full Metal Jacket. Like, what you're saying is like they desensitize people and they're not the same person and all that kind of shit. Like, we're just fighting bugs. That's like just a generic thing. It's like you can shoot bugs, but in the first half of the movie, it's not 30 minutes either. It's like half of the movie. These people get broken down completely to the point that they don't even want to. And most of the movie, you're with Joker, Private Joker. I don't know his actual name. I think they say it early on in the movie. I don't know his Piles was Leonard. But that's what that movie, like, that's the breakdown of your humanity. They're trying to, but like Joker gets out and his final thing was he wants to be a journalist. R. Lee Ermey, like, he's like, oh, you passed. And we got R. Lee Ermey from that. Like, that's the greatest thing. We got R. Lee Ermey from that movie. He wasn't an actor. He was a consultant. And he came on by Stanley Kubrick to show them how boot camp is. And they're like, instead of like him training somebody else, like, let's just film what he's doing right now, which was boot camp. And he made up his own lines, and everybody was like, what the fuck is he even saying? You can suck a golf ball through a garden hose? They didn't write that shit. He probably just said that shit to people. It was real. And it made it, like, some of the people, like Private Pile, again, a person that probably wouldn't have wanted to be there. And that's what I like about it. It's like, the people, like, you have Animal Mother. Was that his name? I think so. The guy that was in Serenity, that movie. He was a psycho. He was shooting, like, civilians from the helicopter. So you get, like, this juxtaposed thing of, like, people that wanted to do it just because they're crazy, and people that didn't ever want to be into it, but they have to, like, say the things that they are supposed to say. And you get, like, Vincent D'Onofrio kills himself and kills the fucker that's been fucking with him the entire time. Because he's probably should never have been in the military ever anyway. Because they didn't do, like, mental checks. They were just like, you're drafted. And Joker didn't want to be in there either. He went into photography. And there was no point to it, and nobody knew why they were there. And that's why the movie probably feels, like, weird from, like, the boot camp thing to the actual war, because it probably was. It's like, if I was drafted right now, I'd get my ass kicked. I'd get beat by soap. But I'd probably...
You would get beat.
I would probably... If there was somebody else that was a more asshole than me, I'd probably hit him with a soap at least once, just to fit in, and then I'd get to war and I'd be like, I'm gonna do camera work. But just to be an asshole, that's like a spit in that motherfucker's face. I just think, I think it's the most honest, weirdest, horrified. Like, I don't want to go to war because of
I
that
think the
movie.
same about you, so it's okay.
I don't want to go to
I'm just
Corey.
saying.
Yeah,
Anyway, that was long-winded. I'm sorry. I'm usually just like, I'm gonna piss myself. I haven't done
I
that
want
yet.
to fact check you on a couple things. Animal Mother is the correct. That's his
Jane.
name.
Who's Jane?
Jane in Firefly.
Yeah.
He's not the one shooting civilians out of the helicopter. That's just a random gunner that says, "How do you shoot women and children?" He
Was it-
goes,
okay.
You lead them
That's
fine.
fine.
less. It's not.
That's fine. But he was still like really weird, like with him showing like
no,
the.
keep going.
I think the goo. We can't say that, right? How the
So Brian,
he played around with dead
Right,
bodies
that was the
and
closer.
shit. But you remember that scene though, like when they had him in the camp when Joker first shows up and they're just like playing with the dead
Yeah.
guy and they're like, "Hey, dead
I
guy."
remember the scene in this podcast where we went to the next question.
well, we
That
can't
was
pick
a
an
really
answer for
intense first question, but that was awesome. That's a good way to start. I really wanted to come in like a drill sergeant, like, all right, you maggots,
you
here's
should
the
have.
score.
You should have.
Yeah, I should have.
I
I
bet
really
you
should.
could suck off a trailer hit.
Okay, so here's the thing. Chris, Starship Troopers, I thought from the beginning, when you first sent me that answer, I thought, man, you're really going to have to bring like one hell of an argument to me, which I don't put it past you because every now and then you'll just argue the most ridiculous shit and make it happen. This was not the case on this one. Your movie's out. Not that it was a horrible movie or not that you were terrible with the arguing. You just had two better choices here, and they both did a fair job. And okay, so Rainer with Thin Red Line. You said a lot of awesome things like the beauty and the chaos and the brutality of war, while also the beautiful sequences. I mean, you're right about all that, and the realism of the fast pace and all the faces. You're right about that. I mean, someone tried to knock you for too many big names. That can be a knock or not. It's whatever. I mean, I noted it on there, but it's whatever. It's set in war the whole movie. That's a really good point of your movie. So Corey, you really just went around the whole damn movie of Full Metal Jacket. I mean, you gave us a lot to work with. How they break you down in boot camp. They desensitize humans. It changes people. Some people don't want to be there. Some do. The internal struggle of a particular character, aka Joker, that you mentioned, beating people with soap. The kind of real stuff that happens in actual boot camp, and how they had R. Lee Ermey in there for kind of the consultant of that, which is a pretty cool point. Half the movie is a breakdown of the people, and half the movie is war. And that is what I think war is. I think that's the best representation of war. So I'm going to give this point to Corey, Full Metal Jacket, but both well fought on that. Rainer, you probably could have won that point if you just... Actually, I think you got stuck so much on Starship Troopers on arguing. I think it was a mind fuck.
That's why I kind of
what
let him
sucks.
go.
I got to
too.
pee real quick, but I kind of want to break down exactly what happens in Starship Troopers. I might have to do that later.
No, I like
I've seen this movie like
Yeah.
100, 200
We,
times.
we can watch it after the.
I feel like-
I love that movie.
I feel like had Rainer argued that with my argument, Rainer could have that point because it's like Rainer's favorite movie.
I had a lot more to say about Full Metal Jacket. too.
Rainer possibly had a better choice, and I like where he was going with like the movie is war all the time and all this, but like
There's more beer somewhere.
I don't want to walk back.
So
I can tell halfway through I didn't have that one because
I know.
I didn't come at it with all the ferocity.
There
of
was
shit
a
I had
part-
written down.
Like what I wanted to say about, for one, Full Metal Jacket. I just watched I watched it when it came out, or not Full Metal Jacket. Thin Red Line. I watched like a couple of YouTube videos earlier. I remember watching it as a kid. I don't remember watching it. It was so fucking boring.
I've never seen it. Rainer was supposed to bring me a copy of it.
It's just like
Oh.
still shots that are beautiful.
But
I'll give him
guys,
that.
none of y'all would have won if I was playing because I would have picked Small Soldiers.
Yeah,
The
I
ultimate-
almost.
It
It's not
started
a
with a
fucking war
point
movie
at like
either.
aimed at
You
Corey,
what?
and
It's
then
not a
Rainer and I
fucking
started
war
fucking
movie.
There's a
talking, so I never
fucking
actually got
war
around to
in
it.
their
But
front
the
yard.
actual horror of
War comes
Starship
to you.
Troopers is the fact that like the opening scene or past the opening scene, but like Rico in the classroom and he's talking to the teacher guy, and he's like pretty much the lesson of the day is like violence is the answer to everything.
Violence is the ultimate power.
And like he asks Rico, do you believe that's true? And he's like, I don't know. And then at the end of the movie, Rico is running Rico's Roughnecks, and he's like that guy. He's like, "Are you ready to die today?"
Right.
Michael
Right,
Ironside.
That
one
is the
of
fucking horror and true beauty. of
What
that
my
movie.
point of the thing that I was going to say is
I just
like,
never got around to seeing it.
Joker always again said that.
I just think your movie's boring, to be honest.
But he always said that shit to people. If you watch it, he
No,
always,
I've seen
he always no. But I'm just saying, he
Whoa.
always said
Actually,
like, I
watch-
want to kill,
watch-
and they
watch
make
The
fun
Red
of him.
Line. It's pretty.
And then at the
Just
end,
whispering to me.
the
Yeah,
end,
I've
the end of the movie, like when
Tropic
they
Thunder.
they
would've
find
kicked
that
all
I would.
they find out that like it's like a really young girl and Joker is there, and he's like, he finally figured it out. He's like, we're fighting as a group. Like, I don't care about these people,
Okay,
but now
fine.
we're...
All right,
we're-
question
we're
two.
I
getting
must
shot.
have chose a really great question because we're still talking
Question-
about it. So
question
kudos
two.
to me.
I chose it, Brian. You just suggested
True,
it.
true. You
That's
did
true.
choose it.
You just
Sorry.
suggested.
Okay, round two.
Damn it! I'm down to Corey.
I know.
We are going with.
This is the first time I've ever won the first.
Okay, round
It's
two.
gonna go downhill
Shut the
from
fuck
here.
up. Round two, best musical biopic.
It should be Caitlin.
This one was chosen by Corey,
Oh,
It
God.
was. So I have to go first.
so you get to go first.
I picked Walk the Line because it's great. They actually sang their own songs and shit like that. He perfectly embodied Johnny Cash. Joaquin Phoenix, he's kind of crazy. And what's her face from Pretty in Pink also sang her own songs. They had a lot of good music in there. It was a great movie. It was just, I don't know what her name is. I think it's Raina's turn.
Do we have an extra seat?
Yeah, there's chairs
I'll
over
sit
there.
on the floor. I ain't thought of that.
There's a stack of chairs over there.
Stack.
So I picked.
In a stack.
Thank you.
I had to think about this, and I was like, "Damn, what's a really good movie?" And I remembered The Pianist, starring Adrian Brody. It is a musical, or I shouldn't say musical biopic. It is a music biopic. It's about Vladislav Spilman, a guy who you basically follow surviving the Holocaust. It's just a great movie, and it's a music biopic. It's the best one. I mean, it's one of the best movies ever made.
I chose Coal Miner's Daughter, starring Sissy Spacek as Loretta Lynn. It's a fucking fantastic movie. It's one of those movies that, like, when I saw that movie, I for one am not like really a fan of country music. Probably would have never listened and grew to appreciate Loretta Lynn's music with more for that movie. And also quite like Walk the Line. They also sing the songs in the movie, and yeah, that's why I picked it. And if we can jump into fighting, fucking Joaquin Phoenix has a fucking terrible, like, he does an okay job at like embodying Johnny Cash, but his Johnny Cash like singing voice is like kind of like whack.
And
It was
honestly,
good.
that movie,
No,
No. You say it's
It's-
whack, but
it wasn't.
the
It didn't
fact
blow
that-
me away.
the
I'd
fact-
rather watch Dewey Cox.
all right, the fact that
As a
when I listen to Pandora
it's
on
the
some of
better
my
of
like
the
weird
two Johnny
hipster
Cash
channels,
movies.
like sometimes a Johnny Cash song will come on, but it's Joaquin Phoenix from that movie. Like they did.
But yet you're never like, oh fuck, this is Johnny. No, you're like, god damn it, I don't want to hear a Johnny Cash cover. I want to hear Johnny Cash.
Yeah,
I
you
think
wanna-
I think he was probably the best actor that would have been able to portray that.
I can think of a better movie where they actually
Could
sing.
you think of a better
it's-
actor that could have sang it?
Well, I'm not
Is
thinking
it
of
Coal
Johnny.
Miner's Daughter?
I'm not thinking of Johnny Cash. I'm thinking Val Kilmer in The Doors
matter.
also sings all those songs, and he
I
hits
thought
that.
somebody might pick that movie.
He's,
By the way.
he hits that to it's
I would have, but I hate
pitch
the voice of the
perfect.
band, unfortunately.
pitch perfect what he does. So there's a better example of what you're talking about with Joaquin Phoenix singing.
I'm just saying it was a great
I've
movie.
seen
and
Loretta Lynn, Coal Miner's
I haven't
Daughter.
seen that.
It's
Um,
fucking great. It's a great
But
movie.
again, all she has is that one song, and like they made a movie basically because she was
No, she
famous.
has a
But
fuck ton of
everybody
songs,
only
though.
knows that one
Which
situation.
one was yours
that
again?
everybody, The Pianist.
Oh, yeah.
It puts you in this situation that, you know, like there's basically no escape from, And this guy does it just because everybody knows his music. He plays clarinet, he plays piano.
But nobody
and
ever
all these
knew
people,
him before that.
Yeah, that's how he got saved. And you learn this, that all these people just recognize him for
I'm
his
sorry,
work
that's
as a
like
musician.
you
Also
picked
a
the
boring
Holocaust
movie.
fucking movie.
Yeah.
And it's hard
It's
to compare
not.
anybody else's
But
life to
you
a fucking
can't-
Holocaust survivor.
It's
I'm
also
sorry.
like,
You
listen
listen
to
having almost getting sent to Treblinka, a fucking Jewish
which is
Nazi
also once again
killing
not
camp.
about his fucking music or his music.
away, and then he's hiding all by himself in this abandoned building, and a fucking Nazi finds him, and he's like, "I'm not. Can you play this? There's a piano. It's fucking true." And the guy's like, "Yeah." And he plays a fucking Chopin fucking
How do you play
piano
it?
piece, and he played it perfectly, and that guy spared him.
It's Chopin.
I don't fucking care. I probably said Vladislav Spilman fucking wrong. All right. But the point is, it's a better movie than both of yours.
It's fucking
It has the
Oh,
best.
oh, oh,
Walk
it
the
has,
line.
You've never
was-
seen my
it
movie,
doesn't.
so you
It
can't
doesn't
say it's a
matter.
better
Did,
fucking movie.
this guy won Best Actor at the Academy Awards for his
So did
portrayal.
mine!
Hold on, time out. So did Sissy Spacek also won
Best
Actress.
actor.
She won Best Actress.
Whoa, she went full on. on that
She
movie.
was also
Coal
like
miner's
selected by like fucking Loretta Lynn like picked Sissy Spacek to be in this fucking movie. Sissy Spacek didn't even want to fucking do the movie. Loretta Lynn went on like fucking Jimmy Carter or like fucking some Tonight Show shit and was like, yeah, Sissy Spacek's playing me in a movie, and she's like, oh fuck, now I got to do that. And it was fucking great and did great things for her fucking career.
It's a great thing for
I
Adrian
think-
Brody's
I
career.
think they did the same shit for Walk the Line.
I just think your movie was dull.
It's not.
Everything about
His brother died. That shit's true. His dad hated him. That shit's true. He got addicted to a hell of a lot of drugs, and most people.
and like
they're
I said, so
love
did
Johnny
Dewey
Cash.
Cox. I think it was a better.
I don't think
better
Dewey
movie.
Cox was a better
Yeah,
movie.
Johnny
No,
Cash.
Jimmy Cox definitely actually is a better movie than
Nah,
Walk the Line.
Yeah, it's way
But
better.
like,
I don't think so.
Coal
And you
miners-
have all these
coal-
other people
coal
like
miners- coal
like
miners
Coal
died.
Miner's Miner, baby.
the coal miners.
Coal miners died at like alright, so
We should got a sex change
it was
at that
the
one
seventh
point.
highest grossing film of 1980. It actually won multiple Academy Awards. It won for Best Picture, also Best Actress.
More than
Shut
that.
the fuck up.
If somebody can.
Mine
track-
also was nominated for Best Picture and Best Actor.
I think
actress.
mine
Like,
won and won
How-
and
how-
won
like-
and won. Like I think they got best.
You think?
actor.
You think?
Walk,
but I know
Walk
this
the
is a
Line
fact, so like,
could not have won
shut
Best
up and
Picture.
listen.
I'd be
it didn't
surprised.
get Best Picture. It was nominated. I think they
Alright,
did get.
So
it.
those all cancel out. It's like
God, eat my shit.
Honestly, like as a moviegoer, I think
I think they
like
did.
nobody
I can't
really
look
gives
it
a
up,
shit
I'm not
about Loretta
supposed to.
Lynn. People were just like, "Oh, this might be a good
What do you
movie."
mean?
now.
No one gives a shit. Like,
Nobody cares what she came up from. I don't.
that
I'm
movie was
fucking-
the seventh highest fucking grossing movie of 1980.
Oh,
you can't
so
say
what
nobody
did you
gives a
do?
shit about that
What
fucking
they do?
movie.
Hey, they just got some buzz, but it wasn't because of Loretta Lynn. That's
But it
nobody
was,
cared.
though.
No, it was
Yeah,
about
it
the
was.
It
about
fucking
the
was,
people.
Has anybody actually
You
seen
can't
it?
say that like a fact.
Yeah,
because
is
it was
anybody-
because it fucking
Have
happened.
you seen it?
No,
What?
I mean, either.
no, but and that's why, because I don't care. I don't think that's an intriguing story as much as a guy who just is a regular pianist.
Yours is.
Once
I
again-
haven't
once again-
seen yours either. It's so
Yeah.
fucking boring.
It's
Yeah,
not
well,
boring.
once again,
There's,
it
there's
is,
blood
though.
and death and despair, and then there's this hope. But even at the end, it still has this like despair moment where it's like, God, the
Well, once
Holocaust
again,
really
great.
doesn't
It's
even
hard-
affect
Once again,
just.
you're
Oh my
just
God.
looking
Just
at movies
them.
that are just like beautiful to look at.
That's what
But it's
movies
like
are supposed to do. You're supposed
No,
to.
but you have to have.
You can
like,
enjoy it. You enjoy this movie.
You enjoy
rooting
the
for this
movie,
guy.
but you can look at ones that aren't
and
just.
you learn something new. You learn
a-
that this
a
guy
picture
is a
of-
So
fucking
okay,
great
fucking
musician.
shits. Like it's hard. Once again, it's hard to compare a movie about a Holocaust survivor with anybody else's fucking struggle. But like Loretta
Like-
Lynn lived a fucking rough life and like pulled herself like fucking.
Johnny Cash let his brother
Woo-hoo, I
fucking
was
die.
Holocaust. Like
And
that's
his-
your fucking
his
argument.
dad
You can't
hated
do
him.
that shit. Like,
Boo-hoo.
And he
you're
He
just
wasn't.
fucking-
He got out of it. He kept hiding. It's a good like escape hiding sort of movie.
What the
He-
fuck does that have to do with
He
music?
went
though?
on tour.
It's the only reason he's able to
alright,
get away is because he's a
This
musician.
is awesome.
Johnny Cash went on
You guys
tour
are just
with
big country
fucking Elvis
singers.
and shit.
You guys pick country singers. They're always
Because we're
sad
picking
fucking
the
people.
best-
no,
fucking-
because it was a great movie.
They're just sad people. Their lives suck. Their dog got fucking ran
Because
over.
it fits
That's all
the
they ever
parameters of
fucking
the
sing
fucking
about.
movie.
You
Arnold,
guys probably
Coal
had
miner's
the
daughter. We had
saddest
to
woman
go to the company
fucking-
store and use our fucking script. Blah blah
I'm
blah
just
blah.
saying, it
That's
was-
pretty. That's
It
nobody
wasn't
gives
the
a
best
shit.
biopic. Nobody knows who your musician is. It was Adrian
And
Brody.
you know what? This movie kicked ass. It was fucking
It
one
won
of the
a lot
best
of
movies
awards.
that year. And you know
Yeah.
what? people didn't know who he was, and
It-
that
it
fucking
kickstarted
they
him.
fucking learned about
Hey,
him.
but-
They learned all about
Actually,
this,
no,
thing.
you
and now
know-
he's got a great fucking Wikipedia page.
And now
And before this, I bet you he didn't.
the movie's boring.
It's not boring at all. Your movie's boring. Jesus Christ.
How the fuck is
You know
what?
what?
It's just
movie's
not.
not boring.
It's just not good.
No,
I went and saw it in
movie's not
theaters.
boring.
It was
Well,
not
Starship Troopers.
Coal Miner's Daughter.
Starship Troopers is not
movie.
boring.
And I would
Don't fall into
actually
that
say,
trap, Rainer.
I would actually say
I know.
everyone fucking in this room should watch it at some point, just from being from this area. It's about a fucking woman.
I know.
in
I'd
the
like. to.
1940s coming up like as a musician and like.
She's probably from Tennessee or fucking Pennsylvania. so
No,
it's
she was
not
from
even-
fucking Kentucky.
Yeah.
Well, so was fucking
Billy Ray Cyrus.
he was
He's
from Kentucky, but
too, if we wanna get
June
real
Carter
into it.
Cash was from West Virginia.
Oh,
My
yeah,
God,
yeah.
the 304.
But like, all right, so the movie was filmed in Kentucky and Virginia. She pretty much was. She grew up one of 8 children.
Chris, you want to just wrap this into your closing?
Yeah, sure.
Let's just do that.
Alright, Loretta Lynn grew up fucking one of 8 children. By 13, she got fucking married to a guy that was like 22. At 15, or no, she was 15 when she got fucking married. By 19, she had 4 kids, and by 25, she had a fucking record deal. Because she fucking is a beast. She's. I hate you, Rainer. I fucking hate you so much.
So
Right,
June Carter Cash.
she fucking.
She fucking hates me.
It's just a fucking solid fucking movie. But the refreshing thing about Coal Miner's Daughter is it's not just a fucking rags to riches story. It's about how fucking human she is. And the thing about the movie is it's directly based on a book she wrote. She like fucking picked Sissy Spacek herself. Sissy Spacek had no interest in doing the fucking movie. She was fucking convinced into doing the movie. It was fucking the best thing to ever happen to her career, or could have happened to her fucking career. It's the first occasion of like a movie winning an Academy Award where somebody is playing somebody else and that person is in the audience to like witness that. That's fucking
No,
cool
I-
as shit. But like, it's just a fucking solid movie. I could talk about the plot of the movie itself, but just fucking watch it, especially if you're from this fucking area. Like, it's interesting. It's about Appalachian history, if anything. But like, the movie is just fucking great, and it's this brilliant fucking performance by Sissy Spacek. The fucking soundtrack reached 40 on the U.S. Billboard Top fucking 200. It was certified gold, and this is movie or like the songs on the fucking film were sung by Sissy Spacek. So like, people bought this fucking soundtrack,
For that.
fucking saw the fucking movie. It's fucking such a good fucking movie, and I don't know. It also had Tommy Lee Jones in it. Like,
That's the kicker right there.
I mean,
Volcano's his best film.
1980s Tommy Lee Jones was the fucking man.
It's good.
Early 90s.
Is that it?
Yeah, sure. Cause
Is it me?
Yeah, you're.
There's similar points, like, again, what you're saying is soundtrack. They actually had, like, Walk the Line soundtrack that was sung completely by Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon? That chick from Pretty in Pink. Her and the new Joker.
That's a terrible way to argue.
But it's true. But they were fucking amazing at it. And if you want to talk about people that were from here, I mean, Johnny Cash was like Tennessee is where he was growing up, all that shit. That movie showed a bunch of like hardships of like how he even became to be what he is, but didn't glorify like the shit that went down in the music industry then, as far as it is now too. It's like you get popular, you're hanging out with these fucking weirdos that are doing cocaine and drugs and all that kind of shit. And a lot of people that listen to Johnny Cash, like our parents' age, I never listened to it until that movie. I still don't listen to Johnny Cash. Like, I don't stick a CD in my car, but it's like, wow, it's pretty fucked up. Just you hear about a bunch of other like people these days being like addicted to drugs and like uppers and downers and shit. Johnny Cash fucking did it all. Like, he did. He ruined relationships. But he fixed it. He did, actually. He got older, and he fixed it, and he still went on tour. The motherfucker made some great music, and the new Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, he sounded like... What other actor could you put in for Johnny
You
Cash?
can't ask questions in your closing.
I know, I'm asking questions
I
to
can't,
the world.
I can't interject.
Internet, I'm saying, like, there's probably a lot. They're going to be like, probably a lot. He was good, though. His voice was good. Everything was good. The movie was accurate, for one thing. It was a fantastic movie.
I think The Pianist is
The penis.
the best of the three, which would make it the best of all time. It's just this story of this guy who uses his talents as a musician to get away from the most horrible thing that's ever probably happened on the planet, with people being involved. He's not a well-known person. He's not Johnny Cash or Loretta Lynn. And I think that's what kind of draws a lot of people to this movie, because it's about him and just his struggle throughout, how he uses him being known as a musician to survive, his whole family dying, everybody he knows dying, stuff like that. I think Walk the Line I don't even think Reese and Joaquin had good chemistry throughout the movie. They didn't seem like they would be a couple if I took it take the reality out of it being a movie. I thought they were pretty bland together. Anybody can sing Johnny Cash is just kind of low. With Loretta Lynn, again, it's almost like you guys are arguing the same story. Just one's a dude, one's not a dude. It's a lady. I think The Pianist had a better performance by either of the main stars. And again, it's just the time period, how music saves him, not just him being famous. It could be more worldly viewed. Not everybody likes Johnny Cash, but everybody can kind of relate to what happens to this guy. And I just think it's a better movie. It's the best of the three. So it's the best of all time. The Pianist.
The penis.
I hate not being able to interject in fucking closing statements, because you motherfucker with your your movie had a soundtrack, my movie had a soundtrack, same thing. It wasn't the same thing, because I brought facts about my fucking soundtrack, so don't you dare compare shit.
I know you write a bunch of shit telling you actually have facts. I could get on my phone.
I'm just
but I
saying,
don't.
nigga, it ain't the same
I'm just-
thing.
I bet mine, the soundtrack for Walk the
I'm not,
Line got
it's
hell of a lot
over.
better.
It's over. I'm just saying.
Got a lot more
There's a
Oscars than either of yours too.
But you can't state that as an opinion.
I'm not stating it.
Okay.
When you say,
Okay, well, Brian, go on.
I'm
Colin,
just-
can we get a fact check on that?
What?
that's why we do a fact check.
The amount of Oscars Walk the Line won versus
the movie that you picked.
the 2 Oscars I won.
Yeah, I would like to know the awards on that one. Anyways, you can continue with your.
Okay.
And also Grammys and CDs.
So Starship
Well, no, I mean,
Troopers.
it's totally on you to make a decision now or whatever, unless you want to wait on it. I was just saying there's a different score.
Starship Troopers is the best music biopic, because even Gary Busey or Jake Busey pulls
Jake
out
Busey
this.
lost the fuck out of that movie.
Jake Busey gets a great green electric
Okay.
wireless violin
Walk the
fiddle
Line.
and fucking kills it.
That's
It won Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role by Reese Witherspoon. And it was nominated for Best Performance by an Actor, Joaquin Phoenix, Best Achievement in Film Editing.
I just want to know how many Oscar wins, because he straight up
Oh,
said
no.
his movie had more Oscar wins than either of ours.
It had one.
All right, mine for a fact has 2.
What's your movie again?
Coal Miner's Daughter. It had 7 nominations for Academy Award, 4 Golden Globe nominations, but it won 2 of each, both for
Okay.
Best Picture and Best Actor.
that's fair.
And also, your movie won Best Actress for not even the starring actor.
She was the actress in that movie.
Yeah, but,
like
like-
him saying like the chemistry in it was not legit. It's like it was.
Coal Miner's Daughter. Only won one Oscar.
Oh.
Best
Pianist.
Actress in a Leading Role.
Check your
66.
facts, Chris.
Pianist won Oscar.
What's-
I would be
what's
surprised. I wouldn't be
the
surprised if it has the most.
No, yours
Oscars.
probably
What's
won
the
like the
reason?
most.
IMDb?
It didn't win Best Picture though. No.
IMDb, sorry.
It definitely won fucking Best Picture as well, I'm pretty sure.
It was nominated for.
I think mine was nominated for Best Picture. I think yours won.
I bet you Penis won like best adapted screenplay.
Well, no,
Because
it's still
it's
got 2
really
Golden
based off
Globes,
of
unless I'm wrong about that.
Yes, best motion picture, comedy or musical, and best actress in a motion picture.
No, not even like best picture.
We're all kind of
Okay, I'm over the awards part. Continue.
About Starship Troopers.
No, you're out with that. What else do you have to say about Coal Miner's Daughter? Go.
I thought I already closed.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did it
Yeah,
right.
we closed.
Yeah, I close
Okay.
too.
Yeah,
That's why I was talking about Starship
We were
Troopers. I thought
waiting
we
for
were
you.
I was just telling Corey
Gotcha.
that,
Yeah, he was just
that
mentioning
same
me.
thing shit ain't the same thing.
It's not, but it kind of.
Yeah, the awards thing, that all kind of cancels out. That's unimportant in my decision here, but I was interested. All you guys were ragging on each other's films. The truth is, I've seen all 3 of these, and they're all 3 fantastic films in their own ways. I really like all 3. Dude, Coal Miner's Daughter, my dad watched that like a million times when I was a kid, so you would have just said that in the room, he'd be like, yeah, that's the winner. That's it. Nothing else.
Dude, it's a great fucking movie.
Yeah, they're all great. I really like all of these. I mean, you guys ragged a lot on Walk the Line, and I'm going to start with it because I'm going to rag on it as well. Because Corey, I thought you had so much to work with here with Walk the Line. This is a movie I know very, very, very well, and you're starting to go into Corey mode where you're just starting to like babble a little bit and not make sense. And I thought you could have made all kinds of good points, like
I got all of my shit out with Full Metal Jacket.
You really
That's
did.
all I got.
Yeah, that's like you're happy with that. But anyways, I thought you could have mentioned, because I know this about Walk the Line because I know the movie so well. It was the highest grossing musical biopic until Bo Rap knocked it off the charts, and I thought that was an important fact.
You know, I never put money into it.
Yeah, but it is important because that means
You're
people
right.
are watching it.
You're right.
And it seemed like it was not going to be knocked off of that, by the way, and Bo Rap knocked it off, which was really impressive lately. I thought Walk the Line, by the way, of all 3 of these, has the most beloved songs by any of these musicians, and you didn't mention that. The fact that you kept calling Joaquin Phoenix the new Joker, that was a really weird way to argue Johnny Cash, Walk the Line.
Well, I forgot their names.
I thought they had some good knocks about this. Anyone can sing Johnny Cash, and also they don't seem like a real couple. I had never thought about that, and the more I sat there and thought about it, I'm like, they kind of do have weird chemistry in the movie. That's a pretty good point. So we're down to The Pianist and Coal Miner's Daughter.
Oh.
I'm gonna go pee while we do this.
What have you had? A beer?
His sippy cup's looking a little empty.
That's kind of
Oh yeah, he drinks the
a deadly
box.
combo right there.
Boulder box.
The pianist.
Go ahead. I'm out of this.
You what?
The pianist and the coal miner's daughter.
Yeah,
it's a deadly combo.
Yeah, no, that's the video I watched last night.
So the interesting thing here, man, this is a tough judge between you two because, man, 2 great movies, and you both argued pretty equally, in my opinion. And it's interesting because one is a really worldly view, and one is a really Appalachian view. They're totally different as far as like the biography part of it, which is part of the question. One is somebody you didn't know at all, and you know him now because of how great the movie was, and those are good points. One is somebody that everybody knows, Chris, regardless of what these people say. I don't like country either, but let's face it, we all know who Loretta Lynn is, and she's huge in the country world, like a beast, like you said. And they did do a great job with this movie. I thought some differences. They sing their own songs in Coal Miners, but Rainer gave some good points, like this guy being spared, like his actual life being spared, by the Nazi when he has to play his way out of it using music for that. That's a really tough call. Chris, you gave a lot of good facts about it being, the 7th highest grossing of 80. You said it's more than just a rags to riches story. It's based off a book. You gave examples of the interview that the actress had done. It made you appreciate music from this genre that you wouldn't typically listen to, and I do agree with you there because, like, I don't know if anyone else likes country in here, but I sure as hell don't. But you're right. The movie can get you into that just because it's so good. And you know what? Since it's so equal on this, since they sing their own songs in Coal Miner's Daughter, I'm going to give you the point for that. So Rainer, very close second. Again, if there was an award for second place, you'd be in the lead right now.
Hell
Two second
yeah.
places.
Hell yeah.
So
Am I allowed to put notes on my phone real quick, just for?
Oh, lost this
names?
point.
He needs to write
Chris
down
got
his
that
name.
I need to write down the actor and actress's names
For what? Your next
so
question?
I can remember them.
No, but for the next question?
You
I don't
probably
know if it's a next
you
question.
shouldn't need it.
Just
for
in
the
general?
next question, honestly.
Okay. Like, okay. Yeah, go for it.
General.
I mean, you were like.
No, you're confusing the shit out of me, so I imagine you're just going to confuse the shit out of yourself, so it's cool. Go
That's
for
why
it.
I at least need to. Just.
I don't know if you just mean mental notes for later. Like,
You know
How to
what?
order Uber.
Joaquin Phoenix.
like take a bath
The
tonight.
new- I took a shower earlier.
I thought you were making notes for yourself.
I'm trying to. I don't know how to work this phone. Oh my god. I'm glad my mom doesn't have internet. What is the next question?
Rainer, did you say you have cold beer in the fridge?
Yeah.
I'm about to grab one if that's cool.
Yeah, dude.
I appreciate it, man.
They're all over the fridge because there wasn't any room.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to find one.
It was hot
There's
there.
also
Outside.
kind of a lukewarm box of them in the floor.
Yeah,
over
I'm
there.
not into the lukewarm.
Just
So, do you have this pulled up on the internet right now?
The real dumb.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Has anybody
What happened?
commented, liked, or subscribed?
Listen, have your first main conference.
Is anybody
We
watching?
have 3 watchers or viewers.
I thought you were about to say
Beverage
Marissa had her
said
first
Small
baby. I
Soldiers
was like,
for
what
the
the
first
fuck?
one.
I'm
Matt
sorry, who?
also-
You said beverage?
Beverage, yeah.
Oh.
And then,
That
Matt,
actually would have been a great.
Yeah.
for the first one, Matt also said, I would have went with Saving Ryan's Privates. Appropriate. My
I did.
first point would have been that a belt buckle prize. Brittany said, I'd like to inquire how to access your premium Snapchat. Beverage also said, Heir of Corey. Brittany also said, Johnny Cash singing Hurt is amazing, and The Walking Dead Wounded with his daughter Roseanne Cash. And that is it.
Thank you.
My favorite
What do you
part's
think
Matt
on
at the
that
beginning just telling us to unmute the mic and we didn't see it until we'd already like went all the way through.
Oh god.
But he did bring up a good point. Anyone can sing Johnny Cash.
I don't think so.
Just about anyone.
I walked the line.
I love Johnny
I
Cash.
will let you down.
I
will lay
you
I'll wait till you're gone.
down. I don't think so. No, I don't think anybody can do
You
it as
went
well.
down,
as
down, down,
Like,
down,
man,
burning
you don't have to
ring
get
of
your
fire, and
We're gonna
it
get
burns,
bleeped off
burns.
YouTube.
We are. If we stop, if we
We're
can't
getting
sing
stricken,
that
dude.
that much of a song, like
And it got hot, hot, hot.
and
The
fire
circle
went
of
down.
flames. The circle of flames.
Another good movie I almost picked for this, but I hadn't watched it. I just wanted to find it and watch it because I wasn't aware of it until I was like trying to think about this question. Gary Busey was in a movie about Buddy Holly, and apparently got an Oscar for that.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that because
Yeah,
the
I
idea
would
of Gary Busey getting a fucking
Right.
Oscar for something.
Something serious like that? Like,
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
I picked it like in usually like when I pick my question, I have the answer for it. And this one, I picked the question. I was like, for like 30. I don't think I shoot from the hip completely when I do
ready
these
for the next
things.
question on there?
I'm ready for the next
I
question.
almost
Okay,
right
picked
here.
Sid and Nancy for the best biopic.
Okay, question number 3 of the evening. Best product placement in a film. This was Chris's question. So, Chris, you get to start.
Do you like McDonald's? Do you like Coca-Cola? I've got the movie for you. That's my opening.
Well, what's okay?
What
Well,
is
well,
Yeah,
the
you
movie's
gotta
Mac and Me. But
Okay, Corey, you get to go because
This is product placement. Mine is not exactly a direct product placement. It wasn't a company that.
You're already just tearing yourself.
yeah, what you got, man?
I know what I'm gonna say
Well,
about it.
when you look at what happened to it, because they allowed them to make the movie, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle exploded that as kind of accidental, not accidental, but like, we're gonna let you stoners do this. We're gonna make a bunch of money from it.
Yeah, that's called product placement, man.
Yeah, but the definition says like a company pays something.
No, just anytime a product is placed on
So
screen.
you're already
Okay,
into
so
my movies back.
No, I'm
my,
saying you-
Y'all doing
hey,
introductions?
calm
so,
down.
like,
I'm
my-
just
I
saying the
picked-
movie is product placement for you to not say it.
I picked a movie who has a lead whose character's name is I can't even
You're
read
really
it.
good at spare parts, aren't you, bud?
Dwayne Lizondo Mountain Dew Herbert Camacho, president, played by Terry Crews, and the best use of product placement probably of any of all time, the great, and it's almost true anymore, Idiocracy. Now I'll go into arguing about why it's great. Let's just talk about
What
Costco.
I would have picked.
Let's go with Costco.
I love
Just
you.
one of them. One of the many companies that agreed to be in this movie to begin with. Agreed to be in this movie. Costco has become this, like, you want to think of, like,
Product
we'll take
placement.
Amazon for now. That's what it's kind of, but you can get your fucking high school diploma there. You can go to, like, level 53, aisle 27,000 and get a goddamn fucking Gatorade. I think they're even fucking there. It's the whole world is fucking basically a Costco. I think even the fucking like Demolition Derby Gladiator thing is part of Costco. They also have Starbucks. Starbucks is giving hand jobs out now because they're going to take over the world. It's all brought to you, again, this is all brought to you by Carl's Jr.
Yours was like a farce about
the
it.
issue with that
though.
though is that how hard those brands tried to like
And-
not have that movie.
But they agreed to it, and they couldn't get out of it contractually. And you know what? It didn't hurt. It didn't hurt their brand in any way whatsoever.
It didn't help.
It totally did, because you know
No.
what? A lot of people might have been like, "Damn, they might have hand jobs at
No,
Starbucks."
I know,
Shit,
because most
guess I'm
people-
getting
no,
a
no,
grande
no, no.
latte today.
Because most people didn't see that movie because those movies shut that movie down so hard. It was ran in 7 theaters for like.
And it
3
wasn't
days.
because of the companies. It was
No, it
because
was.
that's what
It
Mike
was.
Judge Office Space also ran in a very limited amount of theaters, and it's basically kind of the same
Harold
sort
and
of style
Kumar
movie.
did not. though.
Harold and
And
Kumar.
okay, here's the thing about that company.
They just keep saying
They-
White
they-
Castle. You don't even ever see it
No,
until the
no,
end
but-
of the film.
Right, but that's the perfect point of it. Like, it restarted Neil Patrick Harris as the character that he played in How I Met Your Mother, by the way, Barney. Like, that was just, they were like, take this from fucking Harold and Kumar, don't cuss, don't do drugs, don't fuck women, but you can, but, you know, like, that's your guy. That's
But that's
our
fine. That has
character.
nothing to do
No.
with the product placement.
But
though.
it does, because at the end of the movie, he was like, God, I'm so fucking tired of you guys talking about it so much that I just had to have these things. Like, I had to go there. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
in
it
the
is about
movie.
a stoner movie, though, too. It's not a stoner movie, it's product placement. They went to other places, not many, because you can't do that, like, with... Like, if it would have been Harold and Kumar go to Taco Bell, it would have been 5 minutes long, because they would have walked down the street and got some fucking tacos, got high as shit and drunk and passed out.
Well, isn't
But
the whole
it-
point of Harold and Kumar? They're like, oh, it's like
Do you want a White
it's
Castle
like
now?
It's like a 15-minute drive away. It's like over here,
But, you
then
can't-
it turns into their
It's
stoned
like
adventure.
a place that it's like,
Yeah.
what
but,
do you
like,
get?
Anyways,
Like,
I'd like to actually bring it back to the point.
what was
like,
yours again?
It doesn't matter. I'm talking right now. I'd like to bring it back to the point Rainer made, where your shit isn't really in it until the end.
It's
Like,
just
The
it's just
entire
talked
movie
about.
is
Where,
product
like-
placement, though.
where like
It's got it in the
with-
name.
with so what? So McNamee has it in the name as well. So
What?
like
What company is Mac?
McDonald's. Have you ever had a Big Mac sandwich?
And I think yours is kind of like, there's just like a couple who's like, do you like McDonald's? And
No,
Coke?
like it's not a couple scenes. The entire movie was like,
No,
based-
and you know what?
it's a
everybody-
90-minute McDonald's fucking.
But you know what
commercial.
everybody remembers about that is that
The
one
wheelchair
that
scene.
Paul
I
Rudd
love
goes,
it.
Goes there. Nobody thinks about the McDonald's and Coke and anything like that.
Bullshit.
Unlike Idiocracy, everybody knows fucking President
Nobody
Mountain
knows.
Dew, Camacho.
Bullshit. There's
and-
no way
knows
and
the name.
Costco
It's a
is
great
like the
movie,
big
right?
thing.
Like,
And
nobody-
honestly, like I even
like,
looked
a
up
lot of
character.
people are
Think of their
like,
character names. You have Dr. Lexus, who is, if we want to use like White Castle as an example, it's in the movie. Dr. Lexus, Justin Long, Frito is fucking Dax Shepard.
It's funny.
God damn it, even their
Dax Shepard-
names use what products they're saying. Like, this is probably what's going to happen
Yeah,
in the
but
world.
that's what,
And
but like with
they
yours-
use the actual products. They use the actual
products are
things.
like the like. They're still somehow in the background of things. They're not, but they are. Whereas like in Macamee, the product placement is in the fucking foreground. It is the movie. It like your movie exists
My
to
movie
be. Hold on,
literally-
shut the fuck up, Corey. God damn, just stop.
God, but
Your
I thought
movie
this-
Rainer is like pretty much okay. It's a satirization of commercialism in general.
So they have great product placement
they
and
take fucking
commercialism.
These products, where my movie is a goddamn commercial.
My
It
movie is
meant
a
to sell
commercial.
one thing.
Your movie's
Yeah,
not.
but you don't see your thing where my thing is on screen at all.
Your movie's
fucking
not
time.
commercial because at the
But
beginning
they're
it's
both
about how the
talking about it
aliens
all the
forget.
time.
You don't even get Coca-Cola at the beginning. At
Like-
least like in mine, they're like he's a military guy. It takes like 2 seconds before
Right,
he gets
and
somewhere.
You said apart from just like the McDonald's, Coca-Cola is highly focused on in the movie to the fact that it brings the fucking title character back to life. Drinking a Coca-Cola in a movie aimed at children brought him back to life. That is fucking product placement at its best. That is, we're gonna get these little fucking kids hooked on these fucking sugary beverages, and it's gonna.
And you're
fucking
saying
sell them
Costco
up.
having like graduations and you can get your degree and get dentist fucking work and stuff like that. That's
You're-
not a great product
you're also
placement.
No, it's a
for
great product
Costco.
placement.
You're
Saying-
also saying like
like
a
they
very
want to
small,
do that.
like,
But
like it's-
Costco, at the end of the day,
No, I
saw
think
the final
Costco. I
product.
don't
No,
think Costco would have done that. They were
They-
like,
they
"Yeah, you
saw
can
the
get
final
whatever you
product,
want here."
and they
It's like
tried
Sam's
to
Club.
back out of the
No, they
fucking
had to.
movie.
They had to
Everything-
go against
every
Sam's Club, and I think
company-
it's a great commercial for everything.
Okay,
from
okay,
commercial.
so-
not every
what-
company, most of the companies focused in brands in your fucking shit tried to pull out. They just fucking couldn't. The contract was already signed. But
What-
they saw
great
what that
product
fucking
placement.
shit was.
That's fucking brilliant.
And they didn't want it. We're like,
One thing that I'm going to say about Harold and Kumar is they did go to a couple of other stoner places, and White Castle was like, fuck yeah, because they're small. But after and when that movie came out, and it was just kind of a shitty stoner movie, it was funny as hell.
Dude,
We can go to Kroger down the street and get some fucking frozen White Castles right
I don't
now. And that's
think
what they did.
I don't think
Like,
think White Castle at the time
It
was a
also
small
made-
place.
it also made
it's
both-
more northern.
Yeah,
it's
regional.
a regional.
No,
it's a regional
family
big.
owned.
It's
I think
a big
that
place. It's a big company.
It's still family owned, I believe.
no,
So
it's a
was
fucking
Walmart.
franchise, dude.
No, we can.
And
fact
Walmart
check
is
that.
also, like you said, so is Walmart.
Walmart's
family.
No,
family.
they have 450 stores, I believe.
They're all-
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a chain, dude.
But it could be family. Franchise means this family. That's I watched Shark Tank.
Fact check that.
but-
But what I was saying too was that movie actually sparked that shit. It's like when it came out, it's like you can't find this shit in California, but it's like this ignites you to do a road trip. It's like I want that food, that
Alright,
one
so
food.
Do you want to know how
That's-
Macamee sparked?
You know what's
What?
better?
What is Mac?
Before
Dude,
before
I don't
you
want to
go
go to
on,
McDonald's.
Before you go on, I think if you want,
I want to
think
go to
of
White
alien
Castle
movies
right now.
that have perfect product placement. I can think of one better product placement: an alien movie with children. They're trying to get the kids home.
Is it
and it's
E.T.?
fucking ET.
Is
Okay,
it E.T.?
because nobody's
Right.
sitting there
I
thinking
do
that
want
can be
some
like
Reese's
when
Pieces.
you think of ET, you think of ET Phone Home, and you think of Reese's Pieces. When you think of Macamee,
Yeah,
you think, what the
E.T.'s
fuck kind of
actually
movie is
for
this?
One of the
What-
earliest representations
what-
of like
What is this
product
movie?
placement in a major film.
That's not
which is-
true. Product placement's always been
No,
in films.
but
Tobacco,
It's
alcohol
one
companies,
of the
stuff like
first
that.
in like
That's
a major film. Like that movie did work.
I
But
still
it's-
think
it's-
Harold and Kumar is like,
Which is
it
what my
is
movie is a fucking ripoff of. Entirely. But we're not talking about how good the movie is or any of that shit. We're talking about the fucking product placement of it. Fucking my product is on screen probably 75% of the goddamn time.
That's
One of the main
fine.
characters of the movie walks around in a McDonald's fucking uniform.
But
the,
did-
the children in my movie were McKids, which is a fucking clothing line made by McDonald's, sold by Sears, at which the main character's mother works at, and is also prominently shown in my fucking movie. They took the fucking Reese's Pieces bullshit, and we're like, we can't use Reese's
Did-
Pieces, but we got Skittles. I know way more motherfuckers eat
okay,
Skittles than Reese's
okay,
Pieces.
the-
No, I ain't done yet, motherfuckers.
God
Fuck.
damn it, man!
So
I'm gonna
they-
chop
they
your
have
head
the
off with
fucking
that sword.
Coca-Cola brings this fucking alien back to life. There's fucking NASA is the fucking bad guy, so that's just throwing NASA's name out.
Real
there.
quick, I think you said earlier that the Coca-Cola brought the kid back. Now
Yeah,
you said the alien. So
no,
which
I
one
said
is
the,
it?
The fucking, I might have
Exactly,
said the kid.
because
But it's the
because
fucking
they don't
alien.
even know what they're doing with this movie.
It-
You just know Coca-Cola and
No,
McDonald's.
what I
and
said
it's
actually
not good
earlier was
product
it was
placement.
marketed towards kids. Like, hey kid, this brought like some shit back to life. But either way, that's still use of it directly influencing the plot of the movie, where your shit is just a setting because it's a satirization of commercialism in our current society.
They spend a whole chase scene trying to get away from the police in a Costco. Every time the Secretary of State says something,
Yeah, you know,
he has
I
to
got,
say this
I got
is
like
brought
a
to
fucking
you
15-minute
by
fucking dance
Carl's
scene
Jr.
within a
I get a
fucking
whole
McDonald's.
fucking movie of just references to all these companies and how they're going to take over the world.
My
The only
movie
thing they didn't get was
is-
fucking
is literally
Gatorade.
about-
and they still, you guys know what plants crave? They crave electrolytes. They couldn't get Gatorade. They had to use Bronto
Okay,
or whatever
so-
the fuck it's
so-
called. But everybody knew.
so
So,
throughout
it's not.
Harold-
It's
again,
subliminal.
Throughout
product
Harold and
placement.
Kumar,
this
everybody else,
Yeah.
even the other
And the
people
best
working
product
at
placement
the
isn't subliminal. It's in your fucking face because
even
they
the
That's
other
just
people
one.
working in the
There's so
other
many
fast
other
food
I
restaurants.
listed multiple. That
This
wasn't
is just
fucking
yelling.
one.
It's awesome.
It's
That,
yelling.
I listed multiple. That wasn't
But
just
all
one.
of the other people just want fucking White Castles. We can go get them. It takes an hour and a half.
Yeah,
we
or
get
we
an
can go to
Uber.
McDonald's and it takes
Get us
20
an
minutes.
Uber.
But it
for
sucks. It's not the fucking same thing.
It sucks. It sucks. I remember not
McDonald's?
even 3 fucking weeks ago. Me and my girlfriend
It
going
was-
to McDonald's. You're like, hey, I'll give you a couple bucks if you give me a cheeseburger. So shut the fuck up. You eat the shit
I'll suck
too.
your dick for a
You eat the shit too.
cheeseburger.
You can't sit there and talk about the shit when I bought you some of the shit like a week ago.
You
So,
didn't
like,
buy it. I gave
mean,
you cash.
you gave me money, but I went and got it for you.
I paid you. I tipped you.
I Uber Eats you.
And
ass
let's
to
let's
McDonald's.
let's
So you
let's
can't talk about how
let's
bad
let's
you are.
go
Erroneous on all counts.
let's go back.
Cup is that?
Let's
What?
let's go back
Whose
to
McDonald's
movies.
cup is
Just
that?
because you wanted
Not
McDonald's
mine.
and he thought about it, that has nothing to do with your movie.
No,
it's
it has
just
to do
on-
with his argument about how McDonald's is trash.
his argument is
My
fine.
argument is that
But yours,
Look,
there's
like,
like product
if we
placement.
can
You
look-
see White Castle one time. There's a destination, and just
It's
my
fun.
short
3
brain.
films that
What I can
didn't have
think
to
of
do with
is
White
it's like when Rudolph hears about the
I-
island of misfit toys, and they have to figure them out because they're misfits. It's kind of what Harold and Kumar is. They're just stoned. They want food, and they find all these different places where they
Okay.
can hang out and do good. But they're like, no,
Here-
White
here's-
Castle,
here's-
and that's all they say.
here's
And
my-
you don't even know if White Castle's real.
here's my thing.
at this point.
Here's my thing. Like you
Do
guys
you know if
might.
it was filmed in an actual
You-
White
you
Castle?
guys
or was
might
it
have-
A,
I've been
was
to.
it, was it filmed?
just-
no, I'm talking
It
about the
looks-
movie.
Yes.
Was
yes.
it filmed
Probably.
in-
It looks
I think
pretty
so.
legit. as
Um,
White Castle.
Because
but
I know mine
what-
was an actual functioning McDonald's
I'm trying to make a point.
that had a 16
One
minute
point
scene.
that you can shut up for. So, the White Castle movie, they did not pay. White Castle didn't pay for the movie. They didn't pay to put their product in it, but I think they gained financially after that movie came out because of that movie. I don't think either viewers
I'm fairly
did.
certain they got paid to have that movie in it.
No,
Yeah, because it has to work one of two ways.
they said, yeah,
Contractually and legally, it has to work one of two ways.
probably like with their freezer shit and like the other promotional stuff. I kind of looked into it a little bit, and like White Castle was just like, yeah, you can fuck it, because they went to other. There was going to be one that was going to be like
Either way, alright, so
Harold
there's
and Kumar
also
got
a
a Krispy
19
Kreme, and Krispy Kreme was like, fuck that, nope, we're not going to be in this shit, and White Castle was like, yeah, go for it.
There's also a, I believe it's a 1957 Cadillac Series 6.2 convertible in my movie. That's a car. That's product placement right there.
That's a
There's-
car. It
Hey,
wasn't-
Doogie Howser was in my movie.
Okay, but what product is Doogie Howser selling in your movie?
Doogie Howser, don't you
Himself.
love Neil? He's selling Neil Patrick
It's
Harris.
himself.
So, there was a 1987 Volkswagen, fucking in my car as well. That's product placement itself. And like I said, every
the
aspect of the
douchebags-
plot of my movie is somehow wrapped into product placement.
So is mine. The entire movie is
But
about
you
them
don't see
going
it.
to
But
fucking.
you don't see
You
it.
do too. They go to the store and they get
At the
like
end.
beat up by those fucking assholes that are always about extreme Mountain Dew. They say Mountain Dew all the time. Like the entire movie is product placement too.
I don't think they say Mountain Dew
They
throughout
do.
the entire movie.
Every time they meet those guys, they say extreme and Mountain Dew. Every time.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie, so I can't
Well, you.
really justify it because it's really not
But
the
the-
best movie even in that
It's
franchise.
not, but the fact that it did actually affect sales from that company when they didn't.
All right, so you know what affected sales from?
Nothing. Mac and
McDonald's?
Me did not help McDonald's
No,
sell
it-
any
it-
product
neither did
whatsoever.
yours, though.
It completely it sparked the entire interest of them endorsing and using fucking film for any kind of commercial fucking promotion deal. Fucking 3 weeks after signing the contract to do this, they also Disney heard about it, got in touch with them, and boom, due to this, Disney started putting fucking toys in their Happy Meals. That brought McDonald's and Disney a fuck ton of fucking money. That is due to Mac and Me. Mac and Me is also the only fucking time that will ever happen on film ever. McDonald's is a massive, massive fucking company. McDonald's in every fucking country. There's McDonald's fucking everywhere. This is the only time in film history that the fucking rights to, like, the exclusive rights to the McDonald's trademark, fucking any actors, they had Ronald McDonald in my fucking movie, like the Ronald McDonald that was in the commercials and shit at the fucking time.
I had Neil Patrick Harris in my
Okay,
movie.
cool, but what product is Neil Patrick Harris selling? Shut the fuck up.
Selling White Castles.
No, he sold like fucking hookers, or the idea of doing cocaine and like being fucking crazy and.
But then White
That's what he
Castle
sold it.
banked on it. Like,
But
that's
like,
how, like,
either way, this is the only time in film fucking history and fucking possible that someone would own the McDonald's trademark, their actors, fucking any McDonald's character, and the whole fucking company's image to put in a fucking film. That guy, if he wanted to, after they signed the contract, he could have made McDonald's the fucking bad guy of his fucking film. Because he had complete creative control over the fucking, like, how he wanted that fucking persuade. The movie itself is a goddamn commercial. Like, one of the main characters spends the entire movie in a fucking McDonald's uniform.
are we in the closing now or are you still fighting?
I don't know, y'all niggas ain't talking, so I'm talking.
I think it's closing. I think.
Right? I
Don't
mean, I
be
think
the
close.
N-word.
He didn't say closing yet.
If you're comfortable with leading the close, I'll let you do it. If you want to pass it, because I think you went first last time on the closing, it's up to you, man.
I'll pass because I have to piss.
Okay, so Corey, go ahead and close yours out. We'll get to Chris.
Chris
last.
will be last.
I don't feel like closing is
It's an interesting
we all
start
have
to the
to-
close.
I think everybody has to be here. I don't think it's fair.
Nobody else has to listen to you except Brian.
It actually only hurts him, and he volunteered to leave, so I'm cool with it. It doesn't affect you closing, so you can go.
I'm looking.
Okay, so I'll just go because I already
Alright.
can do it. So Idiocracy, I think, has the best product placement of both of these. It honestly sounds like the last debate we just had. I have two of the same sort of products being placed. Fast food. Mine uses way more. It actually got the rights to use them. They got paid to use things like Costco, Starbucks, Carl's Jr., Mountain Dew, Gatorade, Fuddruckers. All right, and even though it's satirizing and making fun of these companies,
Matt called you.
it not in any way is it hurting those companies. It's showing what they can do, what they could possibly be, and in my mind, that's great for a product or a company. With Mac and Me, nobody thinks about Mac and Me except for a wheelchair scene. You want to say that they got all these rights or whatever? You know what? They wouldn't have copied. They basically copied E.T. They're like, oh, E.T. had Reese's Pieces. They're trying to do that with McDonald's. McDonald's sold out, didn't give a shit because they're McDonald's. Yours, White Castle, it's just honestly almost like this mythical place they're trying to get to. There's no
It's
product
not
placement
mythical. We can
until
go
they get to
on
the
that.
end, and all they do at the end is order like 8 Diet Cherry Cokes, some fries, and a burger. You kept bringing up Neil Patrick Harris. He's not a product, he's a person. Mine uses all of the different aspects and all the different companies and products in a great, almost kind of classy way, saying you can take over the world. You can do this. You probably are. Especially with Costco, a lot of people say they use this bad. Costco could have not had a better showing in a film because it shows they can do whatever they want. They can sell you this. They can provide this. And I think that's great for a product. All the other ones, everything being brought to you by Carl Jr.'s, President Mountain Dew, fucking Camacho. Like, it's just great product placement. They use a lot. They use it very well. It's not just, like, thrown in there to be in the movie. And they got the rights to use all that stuff. And I think that's fine. Even if the companies got mad and it was a flop, it's a great movie. It speaks the truth about commercialism is ahead of its time. And with yours, McDonald's, that's a copycat. They just need to make money. And with yours, it's White Castle. It's brought up You're going there. They don't even bring it up half the movie. They have to get into other things. So there's that. Idiocracy, best
Yeah.
product placement.
Can I go second then?
Go.
Yes.
All right. So for one, my movie actually, other than the two guys that were the Asian guy and the Indian guy from American Pie, which they were, those guys actually went on to be really good actors. Probably from. That's how the movie was marketed. They marketed them to be. It was weird. But best product placement, I still want a White Castle, actually. But no, Cal Penn and John Cho.
He
I
remembered
love-
their
I love-
Glad you
I
know
love
their
both those
names.
guys.
He couldn't remember
Because-
the Joker.
The Asian guy and the brown guy was kind of.
Oh, I kind of looked at mine.
Okay.
Cheated a little bit. But still, they went on to do a bunch of shit. I mean, Cal Penn, I think, works at the fucking White House now. He quit acting. He quit House. He died at House to go to the White House. John Cho, too, was in, like, Star Trek movies. And they started out as the Asian dude and the Indian dude in American Pie. The MILF. Was those two guys. But as far as product placement, my movie was product placement. It has the product in the title. Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Yours is Mac and Me. It's like this weird puppet alien. His is like this weird time travel movie, which is funny, but it's not great. I'm just saying, like, Harold and Kumar is like, if you're wanting to talk about product placement, what do you guys want? Do you want like a little alien, or do you want like some weird time travel shit, or do you guys want to go to fucking whatever it is, Chillicothe, Ohio, and get some fucking White Castles? It's only an hour and a half, and I really want some of those right now. Some of those fucking sliders, I want to get a case. A Crave case is what they call them.
Jalapeno cheddar.
Yeah, fuck you. You're not. Oh God, you're.
Fuck White Castle.
But-
I threw it up once.
I'm just saying, like, if any movie wanted you to make, what product did your movie want you, like, make you want to go?
Are you
get?
done talking yet, or
What
can I
you
start
want-
talking?
you
Because
want
you're
to
asking me
make-
direct questions, and I can't talk during your closing. So, is it my turn now?
I guess. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, like, you're asking me a direct
I-
question. I
I
can't answer
understand.
it. So, like, I feel like you using that as a counterpoint for your shit is a low blow, because I can't respond to you.
I'm sorry.
But I can respond to you now. As I stated, the products being sold in my shit are McDonald's, the McDonald's clothing brand, fucking Sears, Coca-Cola are the most heavy marketed. But there's also cars that are very visible and very distinct cars in my fucking movie. And once again, it's the only time anyone will own the intellectual fucking and marketing and just the rights to McDonald's itself in a film. That's a hell of an accomplishment, even if it's done by the worst movie of all fucking time. And, like, fucking Idiocracy is a funny movie, but it's less about the brands. You could easily take every one of those brands in Idiocracy, change the name slightly, and the joke is still the fucking same, and people would know what it's about. He pointed that out with the Brondo thing. You knew it was Gatorade. So, like, I feel like the brands themselves being a part of that movie are irrelevant. They could have just used any knockoff shit. And also got a full fucking release in theaters, and it probably would have been better for the fucking movie. But with Mac and Me, like, it just, it's so in your goddamn face with the fucking product placement. It's literally a 90-minute commercial being like, hey, people like E.T. They'll like E.T. and cheeseburgers. And that's the fucking movie. Like, and you say the only scene you remember from the movie is the fucking wheelchair kid falling down the fucking thing. A, kudos for them using a fucking actor who actually had
A real kid in a wheelchair.
spinal bifida, I believe is what he has.
I'm not laughing at by the way, they're like,
Spina bifida, that's
I'm just not.
But like,
Great product placement for Spina Bifida.
but like the scene, people, if you've seen this movie, the scene you remember that, like, and you don't just reference this movie from Paul Rudd fucking talks about it a lot and uses this one scene. The scene you remember from this fucking movie is the like fucking almost 12-minute goddamn dance scene inside of McDonald's, in which the fucking alien dressed up in a teddy bear suit is like breakdancing on the fucking counter. Ronald McDonald's popping and locking in the background. Jennifer Aniston was in this fucking scene. She's an extra in the scene. That's kind of fucking dope. Jennifer Aniston's way more wealthy than Neil Patrick Harris, and she didn't do shit in this movie.
Is she though?
Yeah, probably.
You're
Friends.
probably right.
She got that Friends money.
She's
But, like,
He's got How I Met Your Mother money.
The thing is, like, just this movie is, yeah, it sucks, but you can't see this movie and not see the fucking product, which is like what they wanted when they made this movie, and that's what product placement is a product being in your face, and that's all this movie is product, and it's fucking great. And as much as you want to say it sucks, we regularly sit down and watch shitty movies. We could pop this movie in right now. I have it on VHS. We would all fucking enjoy the
Can we
shit out
watch
of
it after it?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a
If we
fucking-
don't like kill each other.
yeah, if we don't kill each other, we'll totally watch it. And I guess that's my closing.
Okay.
If we watch a movie, I hope it'll be Starship Troopers so I can provide commentary about exactly.
Yeah.
what's
Oh my
going
god,
on.
can that be actually what Real Talk is? Is just us doing like fucking DVD commentary?
I would
for, like,
totally.
Everyone chooses their favorite and gets to be the voiceover, like as if you're the fucking actor
Yeah,
from the movie.
I wrote this movie. You know, I meant for this to happen.
So you're
but
gonna hear my voice the whole
but the
time.
actors did something different, and I really loved it.
So we're shooting the scene, and we're all naked in showers, and
I thought
Jim
this was
Busey.
supposed to be the
Jim
naked
Busey,
debate.
just beautiful man.
Yeah, you did not bring up you get to see Dina Meyer's tits like that.
Yeah, I
probably
forgot.
Rainer, please keep the streak going. You're doing well so far of bringing up Starship Troopers in every question, no matter what.
I can.
Yeah, keep that going. I mean, you're halfway there, so may as well keep
Do you
going.
want to know more?
No, we're good right now. That was it for that
Do
question.
you need more?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Harold and Kumar on this one. You know, they made really good points about how you don't see the actual product to the end. However, the actual product is in the title of the movie, and that's important. They make another good point. You do only see actual White Castle one time. But I will say this about Harold and Kumar, and I mean this too. Of all of three of these movies, if one movie made me actually want a product more, it was Harold and Kumar. I mean, I think now that the debate's over, because I've already chosen a winner and this has nothing to do with it, but I think we could all probably agree, like, I mean, unless the people like fucking, you know, hate White Castle.
I
whatever.
want to go to Chillicothe.
Like, I know a guy that
I know it's gonna give me the shits, but I fucking
I know a
want
guy
some
that
of
made
those
that
songs.
drive after the
Like,
movie.
I want it.
He fucking wanted it that bad. He made that drive. I mean, I remember him
Yeah.
leaving the fucking house. It's stupid. It's dumb as fuck, but he did
But
it.
I know where it is. I know
I
where
think
that
the one,
exact
honestly, I think
restaurant
the one in
is.
Circleville is closer.
Circleville.
All right,
You might
so
be right.
since
Because
you
I
said
think it's a
you've already
little
picked the winner,
closer.
though, I don't know how much of Macamee you've seen. I
No,
know I
it's
sent you
a
the one clip.
Chillicothe.
You have to admit that clip does make you wish you
Oh,
could
yeah.
break dance with a little
When I-
alien
But you
teddy
can get a
bear
Circleville
in
a
a
little
McDonald's.
different.
I looked
way.
into,
Am I wrong?
yeah, I looked
It's
into
coffee
reviews
or
of it
something.
and watched that scene. I watched another scene as well. So I saw enough. And honestly,
But
it's
it does make you want to break dance with a little alien guy.
fucking
in a teddy bear.
fantastic.
So,
But
in a
who
McDonald's.
wants a fucking White Castle right now?
You.
Yes.
Okay, anyways,
I ain't got that time or gas money.
Harold and Kumar didn't win, so you're out for it.
That's
So there's
fine.
that.
I don't care, but I want a White
I'm trying to go to
Castle.
McDonald's right down the street and get them.
These next two arguments
6
were
feet.
fantastic. Mac and Me is the champion of bringing the most about their specific product down to, like he said, it's on the screen 75% of the time. There's a McKids clothing line. The plot of the movie is literally wrapped into the product, so it kind of is like one giant commercial just for McDonald's. So that's all true. However, Idiocracy does something totally different than Mac and Me, which is throw tons of products in your face. Tons and tons of them. And he listed them all, so I don't have to go over that all again. But Costco, Starbucks, Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew popped up in all of these. What the fuck? All this stuff. The Carl's Jr., all this shit. They did knock you that this particular movie only ran in limited theaters, which would limit some of the product placement value. However, I think, in my opinion, it makes up for it in cult viewing afterwards, and that does more than enough to make up for the limited theater time. anyways, really, really tough choice here, but here's what I thought. I thought Mac and Me was the better choice for movies, and I thought Idiocracy, you're going to have to bring one hell of an argument to win product placement in this debate, and I think that's what you did, and I'm going to give you the point just for all of the... You really brought all of the different points of the different products in there. Man, this is really, really close. I mean, Mac and Me was the one that was about the specific product, but Idiocracy, you just brought up so many good points about how many different things it has, down to the characters' names, multiple characters' names being named after multiple products. I mean, it was
True.
you made a really good argument.
Anytime I think of that movie, I just go away and bite.
I love that movie.
I say that still all the fucking time.
I love that movie.
I didn't think of it until just a minute ago. I wish I would have fucking brought it up in my argument. I feel like it could have struck you a little bit. The whole Brando not being a real thing, but Brando's actually the only product in that movie that affects the overall plot, with like them switching it to water.
This is true.
I feel like had I mentioned something about like how if they actually use Gatorade for that, like
Well, that would just give me another.
Well, you just watched that movie too.
it's streaming on something. I don't remember what it is.
It's on
I think it's on
Hulu.
Stars
Hulu.
or Hulu. Or
Hulu.
something.
Rainer, I know that movie very, very well. Mac and Me was the one I know the least about, even though I got the point. But
it's
you
so bad.
you did better than I would have done of bringing up the points. I don't think that I could have defeated Mac and Me myself with my own arguments, and you did that, and I was impressed by that. That's why you got
I
the
couldn't
point.
get second place again.
You couldn't get it.
I just
I'm
wanted
not
to-
Carl Naughton Jr. That's bullshit, man.
Honestly,
I
I
get
thought
second
about like
place every
picking
day.
like either fucking Talladega
Talladega
Nights
Nights would have been good.
or fucking the one you picked. I can't even think of the name of it.
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
E.T. would have been good.
But
Just
I had
It's
prior
so
used
classic.
Mac and Me
I know.
for a fucking
That
argument.
was
And
a weird one.
I wanted to bring a good argument to Mac and Me.
instead of it just
Instead
being
of
like
being like-
it's a shitty movie.
Yeah, like it was like that was like my argument for it beforehand.
What is the squid?
Was do you like
One-
McDonald's?
ones.
Do you like Coca-Cola?
All one.
All ones. So
This is best
the next
movie,
question,
isn't
I
it?
need to go
This is
last.
right.
Like I didn't submit an answer, so kind of gotta pick one.
I'll go
Who
first.
went?
I have one on.
You go first?
I have one
Yeah,
in
I'll go.
mind.
That's fine.
It just he doesn't have an answer, so like
This is
wait,
best. Oh,
on
he,
us.
you don't have an answer.
No, I have an answer, but if somebody said, if you two, one of you says it, I won't pick. I have
He
a
never
backup.
confirmed an answer. so,
I have a
like,
backup.
He's
So that's what I mean. Like, how is that? Because this is best party movie.
yeah.
I just
he
forgot
just
to
didn't
submit.
fucking
I
submit
forgot
his
to
answer,
submit
so he's
an
waiting on
answer.
us to say his movie, and if we say the one he hasn't,
I have a
he's
backup.
just going to switch it.
It's bullshit.
Good.
That's some bullshit.
It means he's the
He's
least
not
prepared.
allowed
It's
to
the
pick,
opposite
like,
of
he's
bullshit.
not-
Change your answer right now if you want.
I'm not
guy.
gonna change it. I'm
Okay.
saying like everybody should pick, and it should be a fair game show, right?
Okay, so next question. Best party movie of all time. Rainer is going to go last on this.
I feel like it's an unfair.
You're not first,
advantage.
you're last, Rainer.
That's right. So I'm
I
not
feel
going
like it's
second.
an
I'm going
unfair
last.
advantage.
Might as well win that race too.
Corey, you can go ahead and start and just announce your movie. We'll go from there.
Super bad. That's it. I mean, it's a really good movie. It's hilarious.
Super
and
bad is super good.
Super bad is super good.
I went with a movie that is, I would feel like the grandfather of Superbad. I don't think Superbad would be a movie if it weren't for this movie. I went with House Party because it is very similar plot to Superbad. It's very, a lot of the same beats occur in Superbad. Kid trying to make it to a party, encountering the cops, yada yada. But like, it is just a fucking solid fucking movie, and people want to discount it due to the time it came out as like it's just like a corny fucking movie. You're like, no, like dude, movie fucking sold like a motherfucker when it came out, did super well. It's a super solid movie, and if you put aside your like 90s bullshit like prejudgments and sit down and watch that movie today, you'll be like, oh damn, this is actually a good fucking movie.
All right, good. You didn't pick the movie I wanted to go with. I picked this based on two things. Three things. It's a great party movie. It has one of the best parties I've seen. Second, you can play it at a party in the background, and everybody's going to enjoy it because of the music that accompanies scenes and what's going on and the breaks. and it also third showcases and basically brings to the world Matthew McConaughey, and that movie is Dazed and Confused. It's a fantastic party movie. It shows all basic walks of life in the high school sort of scene. A lot of movies don't do that. It focuses on this or that, and this movie actually uses basically every sort of stereotype. To be main characters, you follow each of them around. Has an all-star cast, unlike any other movie, like party movie wise. It has known actors, it has non-known actors, it has a lot of people that make this like their breakout role, and I think Dazed and Confused is just the best party movie.
See, it's interesting that you mentioned the use of stereotypes in your movie. That is the one thing my movie, in fact, does not do, is employ stereotypes. Because it is, and especially for the time it came out, such a fucking important movie starring a predominantly all-black cast that the characters weren't fucking stereotypes. They were just portrayed as just normal fucking kids wanting to go to a party. At the time, every fucking movie that came out that was about black teenagers, if it showed a black teenager, they were just obviously like ridiculously like just impossibly like clean cut like Steve Urkel shit, or they were fucking crack dealing, fucking gun turning like fucking thug shit.
Well, if you want to bring that up, I think in Dazed and Confused they do. I mean, it's a predominantly white community. You can tell they have a black character, and he just seems like a normal dude too. He's not clean cut. He's got his jock side,
But
he hangs out with
bringing that up
whoever.
is missing what I'm saying about this movie. This movie is about like fucking representing a entire type of people or an entire people in a fucking film format that is often not represented in this way.
That doesn't sound like a fun party movie in my mind.
It is a
at
fun
all.
fucking party movie.
Because if they're just trying to represent like a group of people, this is different. That makes it not a party movie.
It's the fact that
I
it's
don't need.
displaying black people as fucking people and not stereotypes.
I don't need that in a party movie.
You don't need that in a party movie. I don't need blacks not being fucking blacks and fucking stereo shit in a party movie. What are you saying right now, my guy?
The Holocaust is really sad.
Like I can't even get between them. What I'm trying to say is like the reason that my movie's the best party movie is it's about two friends. It doesn't matter about their race, but they're trying to get pussy for the first time at a party at graduation. Fuck that shit.
Good job being sexist and.
How is that sexist?
Oh, bro, I just want to smash some fucking put. That's fucking sexist.
Also,
dude. That's objectifying women, which is also
It's
a thing
not.
my movie
They
doesn't
just want to
do.
get laid.
Yeah, which is fucking objectifying.
Did you
women.
not when you were 17? Did you not when you were 17?
I still knew enough to respect women.
Dude, and
Did
honestly,
you not though, as a woman? Did you not want to
like,
get
and that's
laid
the good
at
thing about
17?
Dazed and Confused.
I was
Nobody
more
is out there to
emotional
get laid.
because
I'm just saying. I'm not being sexist. Everybody wants sex.
Creep.
Lady
It's not creep.
emotion
But
vagina.
Your movie also, it's not two friends, it's three friends. So I guess you might
Well,
want to say two and a half.
Fumble's not
You might
really.
want to say two and a half, but he's their friend. They just
But
don't
they're
want to
best
because
friends.
stereotypes and whatever. And I think you
They
need that in a
weren't
party
creepy
movie
about it.
because
Like,
if there's a
one of them
big
was
there's a
creepy
big
about it,
party
but-
movie, there's a big party. There's always going to be cliques of people. So even if it's not stereotype, they're a clique. They're a group of people trying to go to this other party where they might not fit in just because of who they are or how they act or
And that's
skin
fine.
color or anything like that. It's a party movie, and I think Dazed and Confused shows the party aspect of it because it's the last day of school. You have Tim Lincecum, if you like baseball. He's the little kid that plays baseball. He looks exactly like a Major League Baseball player. You can totally
in
fact check
Superbad,
that. It's the same fucking
It was
person.
the last day of school too. They were going to the graduation party the last day of school.
But then the party gets broken up because they orders a keg at the guy who sells weed's house, and then they go to like the bar, which is really cool.
It's
All the
kinda
kids
similar to,
could go to
I think
like
all
a
of our
pool
movies
hall.
are actually similar.
No, it's a party
Yeah,
movie.
they're
They're all party
They're all
movies.
fucking-
And then you have the jock kid hanging out, and he throws the bowling ball
He
through
spits
the
in his
car.
face.
They get shot at, and then once you get to the party, you have all this like everything
Yes,
comes together. One of my favorite lines in this movie, and of all time of any movie, is when Goldstein, I think that's the actor, the guy who gets stabbed in the heart in Saving Private Ryan at the end while he's fighting somebody. He's in there. He's in the back of the car, and they're talking about, oh, they want to do this, they want to do that. No, that's who he is. I can't think of his name.
I know what you're talking about.
He says this one
He's
key
so pissed
line.
off, I
He
get it.
says, "I just want to dance."
Well,
Okay, and that is brought up in like everybody's like, oh, he's supposed to go
He's
dance.
the Hebrew
He
hammer.
ends up getting in a fight because everybody's made fun the whole time, and he gets like, and he's such a small character, but that part just shows like everybody's kind of growing up in this movie, and
I'm
it's
really
a party
sorry
movie
that character
Mine was
couldn't
the
come
same
to
way,
this party
though.
in my movie because that's what they were all there for.
to fight.
No, was to dance. They were all there to fucking dance.
With mine, like you have, for one, it was like a good reboot of like what American Pie did for Porky's, which made like really weird. Everybody liked American Pie when it came out.
I'm
but
sorry, Superbad is great, but it's dick jokes, dude.
Yeah,
It's
that's
dick
why
joke.
It's a
dick
super veiny dick
Dick
joke.
joke, dick
Did
joke,
you-
dick joke.
did
Let's
you
get
guys-
some pussy, dude. Dick joke, dick
All
joke,
right,
dick
all right.
joke.
What it was good for was people that are our age.
We all three picked a very specifically but different fucking period piece. And it's
But
unfortunate how problematic
it also-
the period piece of
it
which you chose your
also
movie sucks.
started Emma Stone and Jonah Hill's careers, and they're award-winning.
If you want to do
I-
that,
I-
Matthew McConaughey is an award-winning
Hey, Mom.
actor, and that started his career. Mila Djokovic is also in it. Ben
She didn't-
Affleck
she didn't
is
have a
in it.
career.
I said Tim Lincecum, but that's a
Ben
Total Sports
Affleck,
reference
yeah.
because I don't know who that
No, I know
actor
yours
is.
has a lot.
It's got this great cast,
what
and
did
they're
they
all
do?
different,
What
but
did
they
they-
all end up getting along and
What
having
did
a
they
great
do?
time.
I haven't
They
mentioned
party.
the cast at all to my movie, but you've got Kid and Play, which, I mean, at the time were like the biggest fucking rap group out. It was Kid and Play and TLC were fucking massive.
TLC, I love.
TLC's not in this
Play-
movie, I'm just saying, like, at this time.
No, I'm just saying, like
Literally never
that's a
heard of
really, like they kind
Kid
of
Play?
suck.
that. Not once in my life have I heard
Have
of
you
that.
never seen that fucking movie? I remember the only scene that I remember for that movie was when Kid, I think it was Kid, right? Or it might have been Play, the one with Gumby
Yeah.
haircut.
Kid.
He's smart, right?
Yeah.
He's the smart one. He kicks that football like across the field.
I think that's House Party 2. Maybe.
I'm not trying to be racist. I only just had like 5.
He's
channels
good
when
at
I showed
kicking.
up.
That's not racist. There are no black
But,
kids.
like, alright, so it's got Kid and Play.
It wasn't. It's not that good of a movie.
It's a fucking great movie.
It's not good as far as like. A
I remember one scene from a movie, he kicks a football, it's a bad movie. Shut the fuck up.
I don't know how to.
Finally, somebody said it. I like.
I'm just saying you can't, like, you and your argument is like, I only remember one thing from your movie. The next thing you say is, it's not a good movie. You don't remember shit from it, so how can you say objectively if it's good or bad?
That's
It's a
very
great
true.
fucking movie.
From what I've gathered from the movie, I've never seen it. But you bring up, oh, there's no stereotypes or whatever. I like that, but that doesn't make me think of a party movie because
But it is a
that's
fucking party
that's
movie.
a thing, and
The
that's
party-
the thing with every party is that, like I said, there's only clicks. Your movie it's more of a coming
No,
of age,
that's
like
a
they're hanging
cheap
out with
fucking
the
cop-out
with
fucking
the
way
point
of
of
doing
the
a
movie
fucking
is
high
they're-
school party movie.
but
Is
their
they're based on the
point-
fucking
but
characters.
another great thing about
plot
mine
of
too.
The movie is that
Is if
plot
you
is
put it
they-
on at an
the
actual
end point
party,
they're going
you
to
get
a
all
plot.
this great
Or-
fucking classic rock going on. So it even has
That
sort of
also is a
aspect
thing
to
that
it.
focuses on what party, because, like, most people I fuck with, they're
Yeah,
party with.
but like people
We
aren't
don't
going to
play
get mad.
classic rock
But
at a
nobody's
fucking
going to get
party.
mad that they hear Led Zeppelin playing or fucking.
I just think.
well, Black Bam. Nobody's
Yeah,
going to be like,
right,
oh,
yeah,
like,
fuck it, this is going to be on
Either
in the
way,
background.
using stereotypes in your fucking high school movie is a fucking cheap way to get around fucking writing.
But they do it very well because at
They
the
do
end
it well,
they,
but it's still a
it's
cheap
great.
way of getting fucking around writing characters, and that doesn't undercut the fact that this movie, starring a predominantly black cast of black teenagers,
Bye, everybody.
accomplished its fucking goal of throwing a fucking awesome party movie, something that isn't represented in this fucking, like, medium at that fucking time, without being stereotypical, like, fucking black shit. They didn't have to fucking aim their characters towards a fucking white audience to understand. They portrayed them as fucking teenage kids. It's fucking great.
And so did Dazed and Confused because they are teenage kids. They just have to put them grouped together. You have to have all these storylines, and
I
there's
still
nothing
think
wrong
what-
with that. You have to have a commonality between certain characters so that the story can progress along
I think
into what it
what's
becomes.
super bad, they actually seemed like really good friends back in the day, like too. Like that
No,
little scene where they were like,
Superbad, I think
No,
it's
but
more. I don't.
it's-
It's a great party
and-
movie,
and-
but you even said there's only two. there's totally three, and I think the main character
There's
is the
two
one
and
that
a
you
half.
left out. Is totally Fogel. He's the main point,
Yeah.
I
No,
think, of this movie.
I don't.
As
he's not
as a movie and party movie person, because you want to talk about them getting
No,
laid. He's the
my-
only one that got laid. He's the only one that
He
and
is the
nobody
only one that accomplishes their
Okay,
goals.
so
for
that might-
and nobody expects that because he's Fogel. He becomes this alpha male out of nowhere.
I'm just saying, out of
and you
all,
already forgot about him. You
out
think
of-
Michael Cera and Jonah Hill as your
out of
lead
all
people.
of
He's
those,
not. They're not.
like, again, they
My movie
was
also
another movie that
great. As
had,
far as
like,
parties go.
actors that weren't even there anymore. Again, Jonah Hill. I'm gonna.
But yeah,
I'm too drunk. It's fine.
So acting wise, Kid and Play, Tisha Campbell Martin, who's fucking fantastic. She's in Martin, My Wife with Kids, Little Shop of Horrors, Zack and Miri Make a Porno. She's in a fucking ton of shit.
Yeah.
Martin Lawrence is in my fucking movie. Really, really early fucking Martin Lawrence
I
appearance.
believe it was a person.
It's fucking great. He plays
I love
Belial.
Martin. Damn, Gina.
John Witherspoon is in my fucking movie. John Witherspoon and also fucking Robin Harris. Robin Harris's actual last film. He died 9 days after the film was released. Robin Harris known for Do the Right Thing. I'm gonna get you Sucker Baby's Kids. Fucking Robin
like
Harris and
Baby's
John
Kids.
Witherspoon, both fucking fantastic comedians. Most of their dialogue in the movie is just fucking just improv acting. It's fucking fantastic. This movie also spurned a fucking successful franchise. I don't know if either of your movies did. Oh, wait, they didn't.
I don't think.
You don't need a party movie. Does not need a franchise to be a successful
Really
and great
doesn't.
Party movies are so fucking, like,
Because,
this box
like-
formula, if you're gonna fucking make money on it over and over and over again, because every
But
party
that doesn't
movie
make
is
it the
same fucking
best
movie.
the best party movie. And honestly, like I think the best party movie,
No, what
they
makes
have
it the
one
best
party.
party
Why
movie
would
is
they
how-
try to do it again?
The-
They had a great party, then they had a great fucking party.
I
they
just
had
think
a great
that
story
that
going on.
fucking.
What makes this, like, a great party fucking movie is the fact that he goes through all this shit to get to the fucking party.
Like in Superbad.
Yeah, but this came out 25 fucking years before
But
Superbad. did.
Superbad
So
was
Superbad-
like the
can you
reboot.
But
of-
as you said, every
Superbad
party
was
movie
like the
is
reboot
basically the
of-
same movie. It
of
all has
Porky's,
the same
it was
same
the reboot
structure.
of American Pie. It was the reboot, like this.
Yeah, you're
Gave
naming
us-
all these movies, but, like, name another one apart from House Party directed towards or even just starring a black audience, like, or black fucking actors.
I can, but yours.
Exactly.
And I can't think of like a
It-
piece
it-
of
as far as,
70s Americana like party wise as Dazed and Confused is. And
hold
even
on. The
Yours
movie of the
wasn't
kid where he's,
that
like,
good,
the fucking
though.
interviewer for the fucking band who's following him on tour.
Hmm?
You know what fucking movie I'm talking about. He's the 15-year-old kid that starts writing for Rolling Stone.
no idea.
Oh yeah, they died in a
What's
plane
that fucking
crash.
Well, that's Leonard Skinner.
Almost famous.
Almost Famous.
Almost
Almost
Famous,
Famous is
yes.
the same fucking vibe and has excellent party scenes.
As
I'm pretty sure Dazed and Confused.
No,
came
it's
first,
Dazed
though.
and Confused.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Dazed
Dazed and
was
Confused came
way-
first. But, like,
So it was the first
Yeah.
one of its type to
it
show
was
this
Richard
Americana
Donner, wasn't it?
sort of thing with the party scene, and they actually like the Moon Tower. The party scene's great because it's just like you went to like
It's
basically
just,
a party.
They
it's all
graduated
spread
and they
out,
wanted to
and
beat a bunch of
They
people's
actually
ass.
aren't graduating. They're going to be seniors, and the 8th grader or the 9th graders are in 10th grade. So it also shows a different time where middle school was 7th to 9th grade, and then high school was 10th to 12th.
I got a random
So
fact.
it's
Your
actually
movie-
a pretty historically
Your
kind
movie
of cool
shows
showcase of what Americans
what, like,
American
of
life
what
and
hazing
kids
should
work.
and
It's
should
off
not
topic
be.
as fuck, but I got a random fact check question for you two. Do you know if Roger Ebert did reviews of your movies and or what the score was?
Roger Ebert probably did, but he may not have. He was alive, so
I
I can't.
believe-
I just know Roger Ebert
I
gave
don't know.
House
Super
Party a
bad.
3 out of 4,
I think he gave.
which is a good fucking
I think
rating.
he gave Superbad like a 0 before his mouth fell.
Yeah, and like using.
You know what
I'm
else?
just saying. like,
He actually was giving it a 4.
Oh,
When we couldn't make the
I'm looking down at
noise.
my fucking notes. House
He just
Party,
kept doing this, so they thought it was a
House
0.
Party-
House
is-
Party also
okay.
won 2 awards at Sundance. That's pretty fucking
okay,
cool.
that's cool.
Well, Sundance doesn't really mean anything.
Which-
I could stand in
Which
front of a
one would you
camera.
want to watch?
Oh,
like
okay,
this,
no,
and they
a
think it's
fucking
a
a
great
black indie
film.
movie winning
It's
2
Sundance.
awards at fucking Sundance is in 1990 is a big fucking
It's
thing.
great.
No, it's good, but anybody can still
But
do that.
I
like,
still
it's
come
not the
down to
worst
like
thing in the
which
world.
movie would you
Best
want
thing in
to
the
watch right now? Like
House Party.
you do.
Yeah,
That's
I'd
fine.
rather watch House Party than fucking dick jokes and
I
fucking
think we
let's
have a
get pussy.
I think we
And
have a
that's
fact
perfectly
check.
fine.
Fact check.
Roger
Hey, that's
Ebert
fine.
rated Superbad 3.5, Dazed and Confused 3.
Oh!
So it's way to bring that up. So Roger Ebert
Anything for you, dear.
said,
dear.
"Thank you." So obviously your argument with Roger Ebert makes no.
No,
that's-
I just
that's
wanted
all-
to talk
that's
about
all
other
good.
movies that
Yeah,
Roger
that's
Ebert
fine.
also gave it 3 out of 4 stars because I wrote a list of them.
I think. Well, is it infinite? Because there's a
yeah,
lot.
there's a lot.
I just
I just wanted to be able to say that according to Roger Ebert, Death Wish and Star Trek: The Motion Picture and the Blues Brothers and Coal Miner's Daughter and The Dark Knight Rises and The Avengers are just as good as House Party 3 or House Party. They're all 3 out of 4.
Well, that's
stars.
good. Star Trek: The Motion Picture is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
so we're gonna put this in our closing.
Yeah, let's go ahead and close. And I'll tell you what, Rainer, since you know,
Went loud. I'll close.
yeah,
first.
you're gonna close first.
I think Dazed and Confused is the best party movie of all time because I brought it up and I just thought of it. It's a great piece of Americana history. It's unlike any party movie at that time, and it shows this pretty recent but like nostalgic era for people not only at that time but still now. It's kind of a romanticized like end of free love into this new modern thing. It shows, high schoolers, these junior high kids coming up. It has a great cast. It basically is Matthew McConaughey's first or, second role, and he kills it. The soundtrack is phenomenal. I don't know if your movies can compare to that. You can just put it on in the background at like any sort of party, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, I like that Led Zeppelin song. It's pretty good." With House Party, you say, "Oh, it's great because it doesn't have stereotypes." I think that's not a good thing for a party movie because you kind of have to have that, or it's just people getting drunk and doing drugs, and you kind of have to have relationships, and you're going to put relationships based on cliques, and that's with any movie. People have to be able to relate. With Superbad, I think it's more of a coming of age story as opposed to a party movie because they're trying to get to this party and they end up splitting up, they end up getting in all these hijinks, and they learn about themselves and they become better people. Most party movies in my mind are just let's just have fun. The only case in mind is I just want to dance, and he ends up being the big old badass, which is good because he got stabbed in the heart in Saving Private Ryan and died. And it's a pretty fucking intense scene if you remember that. I just think Dazed and Confused is a great party movie. It's a great party, great scene, and it's all leading up to a party, and then even at the end they all kind of come together. All these different people at the football field, and the sprinklers come on, and Randall Pink Floyd quits the football team. Take that out of my argument, but everybody comes together at the end, and everybody's happy, and there's no sort of thing, and they all understand they're all the same people. They just want to have fun. Dazed and Confused, fantastic. All right.
Alright, I'll go next. With Dazed and Confused, my point at like it using stereotypes negatively is it's just one of those movies that like it shortcuts any actual character development or getting to really know those characters by just being like, this is the jock kid, this is the stoner kid. You went to high school, you know how those people react to each other. Whereas like my movie doesn't fucking do that. It's a bunch of kids just coming together to have a good time, and one kid wanting to fucking make it there, and going through all kinds of fucking bullshit struggle and just stupid shit. He gets chased by the cops, chased by these fucking bullies, chased by his fucking dad throughout the entire fucking movie until he finally makes it to the fucking party, and then shit, nothing else matters because he made it to the fucking party of the year. He's having a good fucking time. He and his best friend, who is his best friend's fucking party, kick off into honestly probably the most memorable scene from the fucking movie, in a movie that influenced party scenes or party movies for just shit way after. It has the memorable like fucking dance battle fucking scene which kicked off dance battles in fucking party movies, and like just that scene in any movie where you're in a club or a party or some shit and like people dance battle that like kicked off in this shit. With fucking
Can we dance battle?
what is I will pop and lock you the fuck down.
You're about to get served, bro.
With Superbad once again is just like it's a funny movie, but it's so stuck in its time where like my movie is functioning as a period piece now because it's about the time it came out his movie's definitely a period piece. It was a period piece when it was made.
Yeah.
Given it wasn't like super behind, but it's like they were like this was like 5 years ago or whatever. I don't remember what year fucking that
It's
movie
like
came out.
the introduction of Ben Affleck.
But like
No.
your fucking movie is such a cringy fucking time period. It's the same time period where it was cool to call your friend a fucking fag. And that shit's not fucking cool. That movie's dick jokes and let's get pussy bro. And there's none of that shit in House Party. It's a fucking rated R fucking movie. They don't sexualize, like overly sexualize or fucking bastardize fucking women. There's fucking little to no misogyny in the fucking movie. The misogyny in the movie is directly called out by the fucking female characters. Everyone has a fucking good time. Bumpin' soundtrack starring, like, the soundtrack has fucking, Parliament on it, Kid and Play, LL Cool J, I don't know where I fucking wrote this shit down. Fucking Eric B. and Rakim's on the fucking soundtrack. Like, for 1990, that soundtrack was the pumpin' thing, and that soundtrack got played at fucking parties. It wasn't put this movie on in the background of the party. That movie got parties fucking going. It completely just captured fucking black teen culture in a way that wasn't displayed in film at that time. It highlights the fucking golden age of fucking hip hop when hip hop was about fucking having fun, consensual affairs, fucking, and just hanging out with your fucking friends. And it wasn't about like fucking violence or misogyny or any of that fucking bullshit. This movie is a fucking cult classic film, and they're currently in the works of actually revamping the franchise. And when they do, that movie's gonna fucking sell like a motherfucker. Due to the stars they're attaching to it, but like, which I won't even fucking, because that won't factor into my argument itself, but like, that when the fucking new House Party movie comes out, that movie, you're gonna be like, holy shit, I would never expect that movie to make that much money. Which, the original House Party movie was made for $2.5 million and made $26 million at the box office. That's fucking big numbers for a fucking independent fucking film. The director that directed the film is based on his fucking thesis film that he made while attending Harvard. It's a solid fucking movie. It's a great fucking party movie. Bumpin' soundtrack. It's just about fucking teens having fun. And it's the fucking perfect movie. If you don't believe me now, if my argument hasn't swayed you, just fucking watch it. And you'll be like, damn, this is a good fucking movie. If you don't think it's the best party movie of all time, that's whatever. But you'll watch that movie and be like, damn, this is a good fucking movie.
I know all three of these very well, by the way. I like them all in their own ways. And it is a good fucking movie. And it does have a good soundtrack, by the way.
I'm gonna have a really hard time following that. Superbad to me is about even though what you were saying is like their sexist thing, it was like their bond together, like they're best friends, and they say shit like that, like when Seth pulls up in like the first scene in his little fucking Honda Civic, and he's like, "I'm so happy that you got to suck on those tits when you were a kid." I know this is going back against like the things you were saying about your movie, and then Michael Cera though, like that was. They had some of the funniest one-liners. The funniest one-liner where he's like, "I'm so jealous that you got to suck on your dad's dick," and that started like Jonah Hill's career. That movie did. He's a great actor now. He has been in other stuff.
Two Academy Award nominations.
Yeah. Michael Cera kind of put his role in that role of being like the geeky kid, but that kind of set it, and he had a hell of a lot of movies that were great doing that character, which being that character actor is good. When you were 34, he's our age-ish, right?
Damn.
What?
Damn, kitty.
Oh my god.
Kitty,
He looks
damn.
like Paisley.
God damn it!
Damn.
Good job, Dio.
That started like again Emma Stone too. She
Continue.
that started her career. That was the first real movie that she was in. It wasn't even like a. It it was a movie, but like Emma Stone was in it. No, but seriously, she was good in it. That was like the first party movie. It was kind of like they were trying to reboot American Pie or Porky's or whatever it was. I mean, American Pie was a reboot of Porky's. As to Superbad was a reboot of American Pie, but it was done so much better, and you got so much more out of it.
Continue.
We have great actors and actresses now that have gone on to win and be nominated for Academy Awards. The
Yeah,
writing,
so-
the writing was real for one thing, because I understand, like you're saying, yeah, it is sexist and it is like weird things, but back in 2010, I don't know when that movie came out. Fact check that.
Nope.
2008.
I'd say 2000.
But it's like when you're
Superbad.
when you're hanging out with people like back then, it's like, or just your brother or your friend. It's like back then, you're just like, yeah, it's gay. You're a fag. I try
I
not to
didn't
do
talk
that
like that
anymore.
when I was 17. Sorry.
Hmm?
I didn't talk like that when I was 17.
You didn't, but a lot of people did. South Park did.
No, I mean I understand people
No,
did. And
I know.
That was my counterpoint to it.
I know. I'm just saying, like it felt like a real party movie.
My brother's gay. Thank you very much.
Good for him.
If anybody knows that quote, it's from a movie.
I'm just saying, like it was. As far as the party movies went, that one was the most realistic,
think.
I think, from that time period. I think I'm just like probably just digging my own grave, but still, no, I actually not.
Oh fuck! I left something out of my fucking.
That's it. That's my closing. I think.
Okay.
But
Is that
before
closing?
you go, I think Starship Troopers has some really good party scenes. They even earn it because they have to fight and then they get to party and then they fight and then even Johnny Rico dies and he parties and
You
gets in a
see that?
fight after he gets a tattoo.
Yeah.
And at the end they all party. Just saying,
So 4 for 4 so far, Wilson.
the greatest movie of all time.
You mentioned the quote from your movie earlier. I meant to mention a quote from mine. I could conclude this with mine too.
What's this cat's name?
Dio.
Dio.
Dio. Okay, Dio and I are judging you at this point. Here we go.
You would just say Academy Awards. Ew.
He doesn't care how many Academy Awards any of your fucking movies.
Oh.
I like that he goes for the one person wearing like a black.
Right, I know. Like.
Well,
He always does.
I mean, I'm already covered. Dio's here.
Okay, so let's just keep the theme going of starting with Corey because why not? I want to say first.
No,
Actually,
wait.
Let me back this up.
Emphasize that, boy. Say wine. No.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Dudes, oh my god, this argument got so weird. I really thought all of your arguments almost like a little bit kind of sucked in their own ways because any of you could have just taken this question and ran with it, and it just appears you put the least thought into this one is what I kind of thought. We got so much into actors' careers. We got into racism and all this shit that really sexism. I know that those are fucked up topics, but they just don't matter when it comes to party movies. This question was pretty.
I think the best party is a safe party. Just say-
Says the guy who woke up in Grand Theft Auto Land last week. Yeah. So, anyways, Corey, Superbad. I really thought after they went, dude, I thought you were just gonna take it because I thought you had so much to work with. And so here's all the things that you didn't mention.
I fucking hate this game.
Here's all the things you didn't mention. Like, I hope there's insurance on that. I don't know. What about the
Get it,
fact of
Dio.
okay, here, just let me talk, man. What about the fact of like when you're partying in high school and you've got to buy the alcohol underage? What about all the relationship bullshit they went through in the movie? The graduation of high school into college. The thought this is the most important part. The thought that the party in Superbad actually drives all the characters the entire movie, because all they're thinking about is the party. So that really just could have won this easily, and you just didn't mention any of it. And by the way, just to take you off the hook here, I don't think there's anything wrong with all the dick jokes and getting laid jokes. That can make a party movie sometimes. Is it lame? Is it a lame attempt at comedy? Yeah, it's fucking lame, but like whatever. It's still about a party movie. So anyways, that's why you lost this one, because you could have mentioned all of those things and you didn't.
I also, if I were you using that argument, I would have mentioned the fact that because the characters of Seth and Evan are based on Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, they wrote that movie when they were in high school. So I would have argued the accuracy of like the high school experience, because it was a movie about high school.
Yeah,
and they wrote in high school.
And I think they kind of brain fucked you by pounding so much that like
They did.
dick joke sucks, sexism sucks. It scared you to even
No,
go
that
into
movie's
the
Yeah, I
hilarious.
know. I mean, like,
It was so
absolutely, like,
fucking
when
funny.
Chris was put on about
He
it,
was
I was like, I don't even know how to, like, fucking respond to this shit.
So, okay, so anyways, moving forward, not that we had, I don't think, really strong
That's fine.
arguments from either side here. You both mentioned soundtracks, and you're both right. I've seen both movies. They both have great soundtracks. You could play them. You could play both soundtracks in the back of a party, and you're going to win either way. I agree. I like the fact that you mentioned Kid and Play in the movie. I do know who that is. That's very influential of the 90s. Everybody's got to know who Kid and Play is if you know 90s. I love 90s, by the way. Anyways, your point of the movie and House Party, how they're struggling to make it to the party and to the dance battles, and how dance battles are then later introduced in other movies, that's a pretty cool point. And it had sequels. I don't know how many it has.
4, but the first 3 predominantly are about Kid and Play.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And that's a good point, that it was good enough to spawn those. However, I think at the end of the day, Rainer just brought more to the table with Dazed and Confused. The fact that you can plug it in the background of a party, just silently let the movie play, that was a cool point. The free love of all the high schoolers. He brought up kegs, weed, pool hall. He brought up characters like the jock, the this, the that. How the whole movie leads up to the party, how it's middle school into high school. Of course, the famous Matthew McConaughey lines. I thought those were all solid points, and I just thought you brought up more solid points than House Party, even though either one of them could have won, because I thought this topic was up in the air. I just thought no one cared about the question, which maybe wasn't a great question. That's beside the point.
No,
No,
I just
I
forgot,
think it
and that's
was.
I honestly
Yeah.
picked the first movie that comes to mind.
I would've picked
thought
Dazed
I
and
thought of
Confused.
PCU afterwards, and I was like, ooh, fucking PCU.
I just was waiting for somebody to be like, have you guys thought of like what it was like to be young and partying? Because here's the reasons why. Here's 20 fucking reasons in this movie. And instead it was like, hey, how about the introduction of Emma Stone? How many awards did you win? It's like, who fucking cares? We're talking about fucking getting drunk, bitches. And getting
I thought I
laid.
brought that up
Is it-
pretty well. Like,
if that question would have been first, I might have gotten the question for that one.
I'm actually
too.
glad that neither of them were super familiar with my movie, because that would have actually been a major hindrance in my movie.
one?
Because like
Rainer on that one.
like I said, I go with the first thing that comes to mind. So the word party made me think of house party.
Right.
There's actually no use of alcohol or drugs in the party. It's literally
He was ready for that one.
teenage kids just fucking dancing. When
It's
I
more like
was
dance
rewatching it, I was
party.
like, fuck, dude. This is kind of a lame fucking party. I already picked it, so I gotta ride with it. Oh, fuck, I'll use that black angle.
I knew you were.
I fucking
was just
squashed
said
that shit, bro.
Another fun fucking thing about this movie, it starring Kid and Play. It was like I mentioned, it was based on a short film that the director wrote and directed for his thesis while he graduated Harvard Film. Initially he once it kind of got picked up by a studio, DJ Jazzy Jeff and Will Smith were going to be the starring roles, but he actually wouldn't do it with film due to like it was a contract thing. New Line Cinema wanted them to do it because of a lawsuit against them for the Nightmare on fucking Nightmare on My Street song.
That song fucking bumps, dude.
That song
Love
bumps
that
as hell.
song.
That song just recently, the music video for that just leaked like 2 years ago. That song came out in like
Fucking,
the 80s.
I love that song.
But like yeah, New Line Cinema like sued the shit out of fucking Will Smith and DJ
Yeah,
Jazzy Jeff for doing that. And contractually, they were like, all right, since you did this song using like our intellectual property or like referencing our intellectual property, you have to be in a New Line Cinema movie. But the dude that wrote and directed the movie was like, I would honestly love to cast them in it, but I'm not going to cast them in it just because they're legally obligated. That's like fucked up. If they don't want to do the movie, they ain't got to do the movie.
Good.
So you can play. I thought that was a really interesting thing. I recently learned about House Party, a movie I loved as a child.
I think Paul Verhoeven, he cast Denise Richards in Starship Trooper because he thought she was
Oh
hot.
my god! Damn it!
Another thing,
think
another
that's
thing
what he
about
did.
Paul Verhoeven, I found out the other day, or when I
It's
was
his
like,
last good movie.
there are so many fucking movies he did that became franchises that he was only involved in the first movie.
Because he liked to do some.
Yeah, but like
Like
fucking
RoboCop and shit, yeah.
RoboCop.
Hey guys, off topic.
Yeah.
Unnamed miscellaneous ice cream company. Internet just released a flavor called Sunday Nut Football.
Yes. Best party
Is
movie.
that
Is it salty and sweet? Is
You
that
what?
it is?
Is it made by Glenn and Barry?
Holy shit!
No, it's by
It's not Glenn and Barry's.
God, are you doing your?
Fog and
I'm
Foss.
still in this.
it's by Nice.
1 to 2 to 1.
It's a weird brand.
Like Rainer has 2, right?
I don't know if that's the actual name of it or if it's.
Yeah.
it's two.
No,
I'm
no,
up.
it's a synonym.
You fucking
I'm up.
son of a bitch.
Did you see the prize?
Oh, okay.
Oh, here. Show. I can't. We can't touch it. Show Caitlin the prize. Look at that
Ooh,
belt.
it's
Wow,
amazing.
shiny and heavy.
Can't you wait for me to
Can I
wear that
actually
when we
get
go
it?
out
I'm not gonna get it.
to
but-
dinner?
Goddamn, what I
You would
like.
have to change your name to Kyle.
No, my name got changed to what earlier?
Oh, what
Shit. Yeah, we
did I
we
say
made
you
real.
are?
We made new names. He's average Ron.
I am average Ron.
And he's Chet.
Best
That's
part.
the most.
Okay,
bullshit.
He's
So-
Chad, not Chad. We didn't
So,
even Chad.
so
we made it
best
fancy.
party movie,
Chad.
which is really weird, but like how I conceive that is like when we used to have parties, like when I had parties when I was 20 something. The best party movie was Apocalypse Now, which I was picked as the war movie.
Okay, that's a good movie.
Also,
Because
after having some
when
beers,
you want
you also
everybody to,
strike me as a Ryan.
That's what my grandma calls me because my uncle's name is Ryan and she has dementia.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Is
you want-
it your grandma
You're
or
not
is it
a
Nana?
Ryan.
Ryan,
I said, is it your grandma or is it Nana?
All right, my mama has Nana is fine.
Okay.
It's a little old.
Nana's baller. Like,
Yeah.
she goes to the casino
here.
and drinks margs.
Me and Nana got beef.
I know, I heard.
She called him a
Here.
hard R.
whoa,
No, your Nana would not.
No, but she did. She doesn't know, but she
She
did.
was like, that kid's fucking retarded.
Oh my god,
I really thought that's what you
you
meant.
can't say that.
All right, what are we drawing
I
for
can
here,
when I'm
Brian?
talking about someone's Nana.
I'm gonna give you. Okay,
Call
are
me
we
a
ready for the blind pitch?
Yeah.
I'm not yet.
You just pulled the speed round screen, right?
Oh no, we're
No,
doing
there's
blind
question 5.
Where's the
Blind.
blind pitch?
You can just click on the, it should say like main ticker.
Score.
Because I never got around to making one.
And you've got the score updated, right? It's ones across the board except for Rainer. He has 2.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's right. I'm about to make it
The
3.
middle.
Rainer, you better get this point.
Well, no, I actually don't have to get this point, but
I'm
I'm
just
going
saying, if you
to.
get this point.
Okay, so
I understand.
are you ready for the blind pitch? Here we go.
Yes.
So you're each going to draw 2 names for this blind pitch. Your job is to pitch me a movie with the premise of Back to the Future in mind. So all of the characters in this box are from the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. So the 2 characters that you will draw from this box, one will be your Marty McFly, it's your choice, whichever one you want to use, and one will be your Doc Brown.
And it's the characters, not the actor, right?
So you're drawing Guardian of the Galaxy characters and you're placing them in a Back to the Future style movie.
Does this include Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
If you would like, and this
Well,
is where,
are characters from that, or is it just the first one?
well, technically they're in both, but I pulled them from the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Um,
fail at this one.
I'm gonna give you guys the creative freedom here before you start trying to pick this apart. Technically, don't do that. You have the creative freedom to take this however you want. I don't care if you put them in outer space or if you put them in Marty McFly's world, but the plot has to be the same premise as Back to the Future. So it has to be the same idea of Back to the Future, but you've got Guardians of the Galaxy's characters to do it with. It's your choice where they go, it's your choice why they go, etc. Does everybody understand that?
Yep.
As much as you can.
Yep.
This is really fucked up. Do I have to pick
Yeah.
first?
So you
Yeah.
get to pick 2 out of there, And make sure you only have 2 before you go opening them up.
And we got like a
That's
couple
one.
minutes to think of it.
Yeah, because I'm going to go take a piss and stuff like that, so you got plenty of time here.
And it's Back to the Future 1.
Yes, the original Back to the Future.
Okay.
And
two.
so remember, make whoever you want Marty McFly, make whoever you want Doc Brown, and your
Yep.
job is to make a movie that I want to see the most. That's your job here. So
This one, I'll go with that. How many did you put? 6?
yeah, there's only 6 in there.
Look at the scrap.
So like we have
be
to
the goal.
we have to stick to the Back to the Future as the movie itself, but with these characters instead.
So what's the question? I don't understand.
He's asking if we have to like,
I'm saying like
if it's like,
they have to be Marty, and they
he's asking how rigid to Back to the Future. Are we just sticking these 2 characters in Back to the Future, or are
Yeah,
you taking a scenario
Right.
the plot wise from
Okay.
Back to the beats?
Right, and I think I kind
They
of hit on
have
that,
to
but
be
to
too
reiterate,
specific.
you're not sticking these characters directly into Back to the Future. I'm giving you the creative freedom. You can do that if you want, or you can stick them in outer space if you want. But it has to have the same premise of Back to the Future, which is they're heading
What-
back. They're trying to save something. They're heading
and they have to be the same characters, Marty and
Not characters, but role.
same role. So you have a Marty McFly, you have a Doc Brown, and that's how I want you to announce it.
that's what I.
That's how I want you to announce
I
it.
mean,
And then
they
tell me
have
where
to
they're
get
going.
Marty McFly and Brown,
Yeah, you can choose whichever one you want.
and then you can just go wherever with that.
Yeah. And like I said, I think rather than get stuck up on all the technical questions, just get creative with it and just start rolling now, because you just want to have fun with this one and make the best movie possible that I want to see. I pretty much smashed things that don't go together for you to get
I think
creative
it
with.
worked.
For the purpose of this, I'm going to ignore all current Marvel or MCU canon shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't really want to get like racist and like sexist and stuff like.
Why the fuck would you need to?
What are you getting at, man?
Why would you look at Chris when you say that? I don't understand.
What's your question?
I always just feel like
It's like, I don't mean to be racist, but all
no. I don't even get racist. I feel like
I think that we're pretty clear on everything you're using. These 2 characters, you're going to choose one McFly, one Doc Brown. It's your choice.
It's so hard.
It's your choice
Like,
to put them wherever you
fighting
want.
with
But they
you
have to have
guys,
the role
like, I don't
of Marty McFly and
mean
Doc Brown.
anything against you guys,
You
but
don't
I feel
necessarily
bad
stick them
about
directly
like
into
saying.
Back to the Future, but you can if you want.
Okay,
It's creative freedom.
motherfucker.
Your job is to make a movie that
Yeah,
I want to see the most.
Okay.
You
But
know-
then it's like after the fact, we're like, we're fine, friends now.
I say motherfucker like it's my name.
You know what I mean, though? Like, I feel like sometimes you're mad at me, Chris. Like,
I'm sorry.
I hate like.
I'm not mad at
I
anyone
know.
really ever. I'm just a fucking winner.
I get it.
I go for the throat.
But I get it.
You know what really helps me whenever I'm...
It's my
like
online
that?
persona.
Is quit being a pissy pants.
I know. Sometimes I get that way. I'm just like, fuck. Did I actually
Hey, Rainer.
offend somebody?
Give a cigarette. Hey,
I go Back to the Future 2 way better.
Yeah, I know, right?
well, do you have non-menthol?
Oh, give me one of that.
Like, do you have
Last one
non-menthol?
you were
That's why I
asking
was
for
like, does it have to be
menthol.
Back to the Future 1? Given, like, it doesn't even really have
Hell
to be
yeah,
Back to
brother,
the Future,
brother.
but,
The same idea.
like, kinda, yeah. Just like,
Wall.
I think he just means, like, a time travel themed thing.
But
And
you
more
have to have
importantly
same
than the plot of Back to the
characters.
Future is, like, not the same characters, the roles.
No, you said
You,
the same
what Doc Brown is to Back to the Future, one of your characters has to fill that role. What Marty McFly is to Back to the Future, one of your characters has to fill that role.
Okay,
No.
so Doc McBrown, I'm just imagining
It's
another
Doc
alternate
Brown.
universe.
It's,
Where-
it's not Nick
Where's
Brown.
Doc
It's
McStuffins
not Nick
in a
Brown.
Back to the Future remake?
We did make a fucking chicken sandwich at fucking McDonald's. He's Doc Brown.
Doc McBrown's.
It's not Doc McBrown.
Does it ever state his first name? His first name could be Mick.
His
It probably does state his
His
first
name
It's
is
Emmett.
Duty.
His
Duty
name is
Brown.
Emmett.
Yeah, it's Emmett. It's Tilly. Yeah.
Emmett Brown!
Fuck you. I know everything about Back to the Future, bitch.
What's the mom's name?
Claire?
That's
How many
why
times
I'm
was
like,
she
you do all
cast?
that, so you lost.
Who plays the dad?
Which version?
That guy from Charlie's Angels, Crispin Glover, is the dad.
Alright, what's like Biff short for?
Okay, I got it.
It's not short for anything.
I don't got
His
it, but I
name
don't
is
really
just
care if I got it or not.
Bifferson.
It's actually Bifferly.
Bifferly? Is it really? Well, that's
No.
one you got me on.
No.
I don't think so. I think it's just Biff.
Yeah, I think it's just Biff as well.
Biff, that's the ultimate bully name. It's like, hey, what's up? I'm
Looks different.
It was just
Biff.
You're watching
It was
Dimension
just
20,
up
right?
once,
Shout out Dimension 20. Woo woo. If you're not watching that shit, watch it. It's great.
Follow up.
But I think the one bully guy's named Rag or Rog or whatever the fuck.
Was he Billy
Yeah.
Zane?
Whenever
No, this is a fictional thing.
Rog or something like that.
I think it's like Rog, like
Rog.
R-O-G.
Yeah, I think it's Rog.
He'll make you look good.
Good.
He ain't gonna fuck
You're the
your hair up.
ball, man.
Dude, episode 10, I think. Oh, it's so good. There's an epic fight involving that guy. It's so good.
He's so bad.
All right, did you come up with your MC
Sure.
Rick
I
and
think
Morty?
so. Can you explain it one more time?
You should. Yeah, it's, for the audience
If you're just now tuning in,
of people, and by
I mean,
people I mean one.
Okay,
One
so
people.
the contestants were given 2 characters from the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. It is their choice to make one a Marty McFly and make one a Doc Brown. They are then going to plug them into a made-up movie of their choice that uses the same premise of Back to the Future. So it's their choice if they want to plug them directly into Back to the Future and try to somehow make that happen, or if they even want to go to outer space. I don't care. We've given them the total creativity freedom on this one, but it has to have the same premise from the movie Back to the Future, the original movie Back to the Future.
Okay, I'm just gonna say one thing before you all start. This was just Endgame. That's just all it fucking was.
you know what? I was gonna swing this an endgame way, but you threw that out there. Now it's in everybody's head.
Guess I'm just
Thanks
gonna-
for that
I'm
comment.
gonna start it out, I guess. So should I say
Yeah,
the
say it.
2 that I got?
No, I want you to say my name. Say my name.
I don't
No
know.
one is around you.
Okay, cut. I'm gonna get flagged again.
It's a cover. It's
Man.
okay.
Anyway,
Oh
should,
yeah,
I,
it is a cover.
Yeah.
should I say what I
It's
have
karaoke.
first and then pitch it?
Have real dumb karaoke.
Yes, that's
But
cool.
only songs from movies.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about that actually.
I am too.
Yeah, so you're gonna announce your characters, and then you're just gonna go ahead with your pitch. Where the
I get that.
So that's
okay,
what we'll
so I got Star-Lord. He's obviously Marty McFly. He is in the movie anyway.
Starry McFly.
Peter Quail, whatever his name is.
Quail
And-
Man.
And I guess as fucking Doc Brown, I'm gonna go with the Groot. That's what I got. I got the
Damn it, I wish.
perfect Marty McFly though. Groot. That's fine. Groot is intelligent. He's kind of an asshole. Are we going into this?
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go into Star-Lord as Marty because he is Marty completely. Listening to like the '80s headphones and all that shit. Listening to all that music. That would be a perfect cast. And like, you don't really need Doc Brown. He already made all the shit. Star-Lord just kind of like fumbles into it and goes Back to the Future. And like
He said it. He said it.
that scene, one of the first scenes where he goes back to the future and he sees his dad hanging on hit Doc Brown's he's a tree, so like not Doc Brown, his dad hanging on the tree looking at his mom and shit. God, Back to the Future is really fucked up.
Is that your pitch?
So Groot is like the tree that Marty the guy
And he shits himself.
I did not. No bodily functions yet. Alright, so Star-Lord. No, I can't can't do this. I'm done.
Fair enough.
That's about it. But no, Groot is the tree that his dad was peeping Tom on. Like in the verse, that's where that comes up. He goes back to the future, and goddamn, I had a really like Groot was terrible, but Star-Lord is a great.
Oh yeah,
Marty.
you had a great McFly.
Great Marty.
So is that all you're going with? That's your movie? Okay, fair enough. Rainer, you're up.
Can I interject with something real quick? You missed an opportunity with Groot and the whole Great Scott thing, and I am Groot. Like you missed that, buddy.
I know.
Okay.
I missed a lot.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I'm really
So-
bad at these.
So Rocket Raccoon
Hmm?
is by himself. He's my Marty McFly.
Gotcha.
He's not as young as Marty McFly, but you get the gist of what he is. And he is on he's at a zoo on the planet Kakab At Arutuf. And he's seeing all these different galaxy animals, and none of them are him. None of them are talking. None of them have an idea of what's going on. And he's trying to figure out what it is. And he's walking around. He looks all despondent. And Gamora, daughter of Thanos, sees him and has this idea. She knows exactly where he probably came from, and she's my Doc Brown. And basically, they start talking, and she knows how to time travel. Her dad is whatever, and she basically wants to send him back to see where he came from, knowing that there's no way of him like stopping it or really being able to have any effect on the future. He is just sent back from the planet Kakab At Arutuf to see where his family came from, while he kind of allows that to happen. Not that he can like change anything, but he kind of has like an idea of like, oh, I gotta make sure this happens and that happens. And he gets to meet his family that he never knew, and I think that'd be a kind of cool movie, kind of Rocket Raccoon origin story, because he doesn't even know where he's from, and I think he always feels lonely, and this would be a good time for him to find out his identity.
Okay.
I can't believe you guys went so fast on this, by the way. Like, if I were in your seats, I would have been like, I need 20 more minutes. I'm writing a whole movie.
Out of curiosity, are we just pitching it and then you're picking one, or are we tearing them down beforehand?
I think just pitch it and let me pick it, unless you guys object.
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I like that.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
The only
Because if you say something bad, I can just be like, that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Factually, my movie.
You're wrong. That's not anything what I wanted to happen.
didn't have a movie either, though, other than Groot being the tree that.
Right. So, in my movie, I'm going to say. You said I can more or less rewrite the MCU or disregard the MCU.
Yeah, disregard.
So I'm gonna almost say like this movie takes place post Guardians 2, but Yondu does not die in Guardians 2 because Yondu plays my Doc Brown character. The Marty McFly character is played by Drax, and essentially what this movie is they're aboard the ship. I don't even know what the fuck the Guardian ship is called, but if you can already just envision the fucking chemistry these two characters would have together, Yondu and his fucking smart assness, and the fact that Drax takes everything literally, they end up getting into a tussle. They're not really full on fighting, but kind of like shoving each other, just talking shit, and all of a sudden, crunch. Somebody stepped on Peter Quill's fucking Walkman. His 1980s fucking Walkman that is like his prized possession. Luckily, the tape's still intact, but like, where are they going to replace this Walkman? Yondu knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that knows how to make a time traveling device. So this movie is about them, these two very alien motherfuckers, using this time travel device to go back to 1980s Earth to kind of bumble and fumble their way around trying to purchase or acquire this 1980s Walkman cassette player. Neither of them really understanding Earth customs or the idea of currency. Like Yondu understands currency, but not Earth currency, in the fact that like he has all this shit in his jacket pockets that is ultimately way more valuable than any Earth product possible. If the Earthlings would just like kind of stop for a moment and be like, oh yeah, I'll trade you this for that. Like it would change all fucking U.S. history and all this shit. But they're just kind of like you look weird, and like there's all those fucking gags and all this just bumbling mayhem. They finally do get the Walkman, but how do they get back to the future? That's what you'll find out in this movie.
I've already don't add this to it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's
Actually, go ahead and judge, because I know what movie he just described very well. It was Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. Instead of a Walkman, they get a whale.
Yeah, well,
It's
you know
literally
what?
no difference.
Raccoon or Rocket Raccoon.
No,
knows where it came from.
you got two people I
He's a
want,
raccoon.
honestly. At least
when
Yondu. Yondu is the best one.
the one thing that you
Yeah.
stumbled on that yours was way better than mine. I mean, I had Groot being
Okay, alright, let's go.
Corey, I
You
don't.
didn't
yeah.
say anything, Corey. You actually started yours off really strong. You said the words 80s headphones. That's all you actually
Yeah.
said.
And
It wasn't even a full sentence. You didn't say a sentence. You just said 80s headphones. That's all you said. And
well,
then
I
you
was
said
just
Q-Tone.
I was picturing him as Marty McFly. Which
Yeah,
he'd
and
be
you were
perfect.
right.
He'd be perfect.
Yeah, you had a break.
But when you said that, you're like,
You also
back-
kept saying they need to get back to the future, but they go to the past first.
all right. Well, when you
So then
said
they have to get back to the future.
when you said they have to go back to the 80s, it's like no, they have to go back to 1980 fucking 5.
Which is in the 80s.
But specifically, it should have been
It's not
85.
wrong.
Okay, this all doesn't matter. So onto the judging. Onto the judging of this. This was actually pretty cool, and I wish we had even more time. I wish you guys could have written me even a little bit more, because I liked both ideas. I mean, Rocket finds his origin story, or I think Chris's was a little bit more in detail, which is why I'm going to give the point to him. I like the idea of going back because of the fact they've stepped on this Walkman, and then all the Earth blabbering back and forth because they don't know what the fuck's going on. Earth doesn't know what the fuck's going on. You have a setup for something funny right there. They're both good, but point to Chris. Those were creative and weird and stupid.
I also
whatever
think
she was.
yours is more like in the Guardian aspect. Like they're two kind of bumbling idiots in a way, so like it kind of fits that. Mine was just I didn't know what to do with Gamora. Honestly,
I just in my
as soon as I got Rocket, it was like, oh, origin
I thought that was a
story.
great
I was
McFly.
like, oh, this will make sense.
I wish I would have used it in my thing, but it doesn't matter because I got the point either way. But I really like the idea of just Drax being, nobody calls me chicken.
And
I got
Corey,
the-
you did get the first
I got
point.
I
You
got the best
upset.
Marty McFly, but
You did.
I wasted it.
You got an upset in points. I thought War Movie would not go to yours. So
I know I didn't either.
proud of you.
I did really good on that one.
Your closing argument took 25.
I think you focused too much on the Back to the Future thing and not just like a time travel fucking
I know.
comedy aspect and like fitting those two people in the roles well.
I just kind of got like the spark in my head and.
Yondu knows a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
No,
Yeah.
like seriously though, like out of all those characters,
And also they could just eBay it.
again,
Point.
that character from the comic books, which I don't read comic books, but from the series itself,
Wow, that looks like shit.
was
know.
probably based slightly
Oh,
on Marty McFly.
I came super close to actually.
Like that.
Sit
That's
down,
like
let it
almost
finish.
like
Before
that's
we go,
great
we
as
can't-
Marty McFly is Star Lord.
I came
I
real
like
close
this.
to actually pitching a completely different movie.
It's like crisscross.
More based on the comics
Or
because the
goes
Groot
backwards,
race.
it's two
The
shitty
reason why they
races.
say I am Groot is due
Nah,
to this
I'm not
weird
saying
genetic
shitty, it's just
disease that like their species is infected with, and I almost pitched it as though it's Zandu and Drax going back to somehow fix that, but they end up causing it. But I think them bumbling around trying to find headphones is more entertaining.
It's funny. But you should have said 1985, not just.
I don't know what model the headphones are. I knew like 3 days ago because I was watching some.
I honestly think his
Cosplay.
Walkman is like.
Wait, who
70s
won?
Almost.
Are we still? doing
Chris
speed
won,
round?
so it's 2-2 now, I believe.
Yeah,
1 to
best
2.
of 5 at this point again.
Say 1 to 2?
No, 1, 2, 2.
Oh, I thought you said 1 to 2.
Wait 1 second. She's
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
Oh.
Bye,
Am
guys.
I in the speed room?
No.
No. Good. Okay, I'll say awkwardly. It's fine.
I mean, if Brian's willing, I will answer the questions and you can argue them for me.
No, I'm not willing. It's you versus Rainer and the
Oh,
speed.
that would be so fun. I would love to just pick Corey's answers.
Thank you for the ride over here, though.
Yeah, you're
Love
welcome.
that.
No problem.
I don't know who. I need to look at the fucking schedule. I remember. I know I'm doing like 2 of the October one bullshit.
I don't think I'm going to be on there for a while.
I wrote some great fucking Halloween questions. I'm excited for those. Like I think
I'm in the
questions-
spooky TV one with
Yeah.
you two.
Aren't they
No,
all
I'm
spooky?
judging it.
Oh, I don't know anything about spooky TV.
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about.
They're pretty open questions and such.
All right, speed round. Let's go. I'm ready. Light a cigarette.
So you're gonna be the timer for me?
Wait. Let me get a cigarette too and we can light them at the same time. in this single
God,
podcast.
let me smoke awkwardly,
No,
too.
I'm joking.
Oh,
You
shit.
got
Get
it.
off the couch, loser.
Oh.
Get off the couch!
Everybody should be fucking excited about this first speed round question. It's the question I've always wanted to ask at any of these debates.
And you got the 2 of the best.
Hey,
I
wait,
really-
Chris, is
really
there a
hope you
speed
guys
round
are-
prompt?
Yeah, it should say speed.
Yeah. Okay. I just
Yeah.
didn't know if it was like working.
Yeah, it just says speed round at the bottom. I've tried a couple of different things with like getting a timer directly on screen, but it's very iffy and it involves like precise clicking, and also I haven't figured out a way that the sound would go through. Like, I don't know.
I can do it.
No, nigga, it's about coding shit. Like, I'm saying I don't know how to code it right.
No, I'm just saying, like, I can beat the speed round.
I have
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying.
No,
Like,
I've done it
if I were to
before.
do that, you could control it for me. I'm like, no, it's not about that. I don't know how to code it.
I can't do that. I'm just saying, like, I can.
Okay, are we all ready for question
Yeah.
number?
Ready.
Speed
Hang
round.
Hang on.
I've got it.
Okay. Fine.
Y'all just saw the most adorable shit ever.
All right, let's go.
Okay, for the first question of the speed round, this is a fight. I want you to tell me who would win in a battle between Achilles from the movie Troy and Maximus from the movie Gladiator.
Maximus.
Achilles?
I picked who won, right? Not that's yeah.
So
If
Chris
I'm
is a-
recalling Troy correctly, he is played by Brad Pitt in that
Yes,
movie?
that's correct.
Okay.
I
haven't
go.
seen that movie
I go
in years.
first because I said first.
I used to
No,
watch
you
that.
get to go last. 'Cause
Okay,
you
you know
picked
that.
first.
Okay, makes sense.
I
Chris
used to
goes
watch that
first.
movie a lot, though. By a lot, I mean, not a year.
So whenever Chris starts, the timer will start, and his choice is Achilles for the win. So here we go.
Without a doubt, Achilles definitely has that fucking fight because, like, Maximus, yeah, that's a hard opponent, but Achilles is literally invulnerable except for one single point, and it's very, very, very the chance of Maximus actually finding that on Achilles in general is just rare, and I don't see that actually fucking happening. I don't see Maximus to be the type of person to fucking slash at somebody's goddamn fucking heel. So, like, Achilles just has that. He has no other fucking weak point on his body. He's a hell of a fucking warrior. Brad Pitt
Time.
is also gorgeous.
I think Maximus would win because of the 2 fighters, he is the smartest. He is a kind of shunned general and leader of a Roman legion. Based on his choices of weapons, he doesn't even just choose like the strongest or best. He picks the best one for the thing. So I think he would know his opponent and he would slash at the ankles. And Achilles doesn't even seem to know that that's his weak point. To be honest, because he never wears any guards on his ankles at all. He gets shot with an arrow, which could come from anywhere. You think you'd have some deflection on that. I think Maximus is just a greater fighter. He has more experience.
I think you're undercutting
Achilles as a strategist. The entire like Trojan horse thing is fucking brilliant strategy. And just once again, I don't see Maximus like slashing out a hill. That's a fucking bizarre thing. Where Achilles is a very accomplished fucking warrior. It's not about him just being invulnerable. He's a fucking badass warrior, and he knows his shit. He knows his way around sword.
Maximus is a better warrior one-on-one because that's usually what he has to fight. He has to fight tigers, chariots, all by himself. He doesn't have a group of people doing it. I think he is smart enough. I don't think Achilles, he's just a brute force. Maximus is just smarter and would think of swiping at heels because why not? He's a smart fighter.
I've actually never seen Gladiator.
Jesus
I've seen fucking Troy a lot though because I took.
I've seen both a lot.
I took 4 years of Latin. My Latin teacher loved that movie and like
Troy's not
we
bad.
always got to fucking watch
It's
that.
better than Kingdom of Heaven.
It's better than
pretty
fucking
bad.
Yeah, that movie's
It's better than
Troy is better than
Alexander.
Latin class. I'll tell you that.
I don't think I watched that one because
It was
I
like
knew.
it was a good
Troy
like
was
at least
first and
2
not that
to
good,
3
but-
periods a year we got to watch
So
that
much
movie.
better, though.
It was dope.
Are we finished or does that?
Yeah.
That's it.
That was it. Okay. That was seriously sorry. That was such a cool question. I wish we could just keep going about it. I don't know the right answer to this question. You could just go so many different angles. I really wish, Chris, that you would have said something about Achilles descending from a god or goddess. I thought that was a very important point for him to beat a guy that's as smart and as accomplished as Maximus. Maximus, as Rainer said, was more of a leader, whereas Achilles was just the all-star guy you toss in there for the battle. So I'm going to give the point to Maximus. I thought he made a better argument, so that one goes to Rainer.
I didn't even think about the whole him being demigod shot or demigod shot.
I knew I was waiting for it.
Based on just the arguments we
waiting
gave, I would
for
have given it to Rainer too.
I don't think Achilles knew about his Achilles. Like I really think he has no idea that that's a weak point. Why would he not wear fucking ankle guards? Like, come on. Why
That's all he'd
would
have to
Simple
do.
solution.
like, oh, I'm invulnerable except for this little part. Oh, fuck it, leather.
And a lot of it.
Okay, so we're ready for speed round question number 2 here?
Oh, let me update the score.
Yeah, update that score. That one went to Rainer. Good to go? Okay, question number 2. What character in the movie Pulp Fiction would best be replaced by Leonardo DiCaprio?
Is his name Sunshine? I think. I don't remember the guy in the robbery at the diner, the male character.
Gotcha.
I think his name's.
The guy
Ringo.
the guy that went to the fast food restaurant. I don't know his name. The one they break into the apartment. Kid eating the he has the Hawaiian
Not the dude in the
burger.
back of the car, but the dude with the
Yeah,
dark hair.
the main guy that they go and kick in the door. I don't know his name, but I think that'd be a good spot for
I
him.
know the other
Okay.
guy's name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
That guy's name's Brad.
Can I look up his name real quick? Is that,
Yeah,
okay,
we
would you-
should do that on both, actually.
Just that way I can like say
Yeah,
his
reference
name.
it.
Yeah.
Bush real quick.
There's a bathroom.
Dude, we're dudes. It's
That's
fun to
one-
pee in places.
One thing I miss
Like your
about
pants.
living in. Fuck off. I never pissed my pants.
The zing, the bang,
I'm
the
not
bang,
saying
yeah.
I never pissed them. I'm saying like that one moment, it was one.
They are to begin the movie. They are Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, so he is Pumpkin.
Ringo. Tim Roth, right?
Yeah, Tim Roth is the actual actor.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
And Tim Roth is a very Tarantino actor.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, like a lot of them.
And I believe fast food guy's name in the movie is Brett.
It is Brett.
Yep.
Yep.
What's the other guy's name?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Honey Bunny and Pumpkin.
I knew they both. It's pet names. I
Yeah.
just couldn't remember what it was.
Speaking of interesting.
I don't remember who answered first.
You did. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. I think Leo would be a better Brett. in the movie because he's still kind of a young actor, and I think that's a good spot for him. It's not a big role, and it leads into him just getting bigger roles in bigger movies. I think he could act the part as like a dumbfounded kid that doesn't have any idea what's going on in the real world or the life that he's chosen, as opposed to Pumpkin. I mean, he is such like I don't think Leo at that point in his career could have been as like intimidating or like holding up a restaurant and be believable, especially.
It's unfortunate that you feel that way because the movie fucking Basketball Diaries shows a great portrayal of Leo in this harsh, gritty fucking way that he is willing to rob people and get what he wants. And I feel like he could equally give a performance that would rival Tim Roth in that movie, if not better Tim Roth in that movie. And I feel like Leo has the acting chops. From a young fucking kid to still just that fucking raw grittiness and desperation of I need to rob this place to get what I need to fucking survive and continue my life. This is me and the girl I'm with, and give me all your shit.
I like the idea of him having a more minor role, kind of like a cameo, because then as you see Tarantino move on, he likes him, so that's a good foot in the door. Him just robbing a restaurant and then being torn down by Samuel L. Jackson is kind of the same sort of character arc. I just feel like he looks more like a Brett. He looks more like somebody that doesn't know what's going on.
I just feel like the role of Brett doesn't give Leo the acting ability or the space he needs to really fully act, where the character of Pumpkin does give him that. He has the desperation, he has the kind of arrogance before they even pull the robbery. It's just a better vehicle for him to display his acting.
Interesting on this one. I think Rainer really mind-fucked you by using Leo's age against you on that one, and I'm not even sure that was necessary. I never really made the rule that he had to be a certain age, I don't guess, but Rainer went with it, and I think he did it as a defense mechanism because you had a better answer, I believe. I believe Pumpkin was the right answer, but I believe Rainer argued better. I thought you should have used examples of Leo being fucking crazy in all the various movies that he's played a crazy motherfucker screaming and going berserk. I think he would have played that scene very well, actually. And I
used one.
Yeah, well, I thought you could have argued a better point to Rainer on that one. Even though your answer was better.
Basketball Diaries, though, shout out that movie. It's my favorite Leo movie.
I've never heard that.
Oh, it's so good.
It sounds sportsy.
It's based on a true. It's based on a true story. Jim, I forget the dude's name. Jim something. It's like 19 maybe 60s or 70s. He's like this all-star like basketball athlete that gets hooked on heroin in New York.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of true stories.
Also, interesting character choices from Pulp Fiction. I mean, I sort of thought maybe somebody would pick Pumpkin. Never thought in a million years somebody would pick Brett. That was crazy. That was crazy. I was definitely thinking like the main characters.
Yeah.
But that was cool though.
No, he'd be a good cameo.
I like it.
Right, so an update for the viewers at home. The two remaining contestants are 4 to Rainer, 2 to Chris.
Can I do social media, or do you want to?
Is there any of it?
Matt posted a lot.
From how long ago? How relevant is it to now? Because I don't want like 20 minutes ago.
He says something about Lion King bugs, so it's about that old.
OG episode where Chris was so hungover, he's just like. All right, next speed round. Let's go. Let's just. I'm ready. I'm in the zone.
Okay, here we go. Next speed round question. I want you to give me Brad Pitt's best character of all time in any film.
Oh fuck! I can't think of the character's name, but the dude who plays in 12 Monkeys. What the fuck is his name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The guy from Burn After Reading.
Ooh. That's the same character, isn't it?
Huh?
No.
Kind of though.
No, it's just Brad Pitt.
It's the same human.
No.
Oh, did you mean Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura, or Jim Carrey and fucking Bruce Almighty? Oh, they're the same character. Whatever.
So, Chris, for your own reference, in 12 Monkeys, his name is Jeffrey Goins.
Okay, yeah. How did I forget that? Because fucking Jeffrey.
I hope his name's Jeffrey Goins.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a second.
Corey has found
Did we just go back to the future and fix the fucking name of the cast? His name in Burn After Reading is Chad Feldheimer. I knew it was something super white. I knew it was.
Yep.
I just couldn't think of it.
Shots fell
I just picture him like doing the
Yep,
snap with the microphone.
I'm high five for neither of us picking Tyler Durden though.
Dude, I just watched.
Oh my god, I was waiting for
I
it.
did watch Moneyball the other night. Never seen it. I think he did a good Billy Bean.
He does.
I think that was a good. But anyway, I said second, so I'll go ahead and start. I think Chad in Burn After Reading is a perfect Brad Pitt character because Brad Pitt gets to be Brad Pitt. He gets to exercise. He rides a bike around. He's very fucking hyper. He's just all about it. Gung ho. Let's go. He gets to eat food. It doesn't matter. He's working out. 12 Monkeys. You know that movie is such a like mindfuck. He could have been anybody in that thing. All that time travel and Bruce Willis kind of steals the show. Burn After Reading. It's kind of a cult slow burner of a movie, and I think Brad Pitt kind of steals it. And it's not expected based on the story and whatnot. And one of the best death scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
I would definitely say Brad Pitt steals the show in 12 Monkeys because he was coming off the hype of fucking Interview with the Vampire, so he was a way bigger star than fucking Bruce Willis at the time, and just his energy throughout it, and the fact that he plays possibly the best red herring in a movie. You go that entire movie thinking like, oh shit, this is the fucking evil, insane genius guy that releases this fucking bug or virus that kills the fucking planet. And it's not. He's just a red herring. But he's so fucking good. And he's so fucking everywhere. And he's got the board games. And he's like, if you want to give a hyper fucking Brad Pitt.
Instead of a red herring, Brad Pitt. Wait. Instead of a red herring, I think Brad Pitt is the opposite in Burn After Reading because he kind of sets this whole thing back into motion and like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And that brings in like, oh, he killed that person. The best death scene, I think he does a great job just being himself, but acting in a way where you know he's doing something besides himself.
I think in 12 Monkeys, Brad Pitt gives multiple performances. He not only gives the hyperactive, like, Jeffrey in the insane asylum, but he gives the very posh and calm and collective Jeffrey at the banquet. And he also has the Jeffrey that is the fucking leader of the 12 Monkeys in this fucking radical extremist group. And Brad Pitt just has much more to work with. Oh, dude, it's so good.
That's everything, right?
There's also the Sci-Fi did a 12 Monkeys series. It's pretty good.
So
It's a movie, but it's pretty good.
I have a clear winner on this one, and that is Chris with 12 Monkeys. All the stuff about Brad Pitt being so hyper and everything clearly canceled out in 12 Monkeys. He's hyper as fuck. I wish you would have said something about his crazy eyes. Those eyes bother me so much in 12 Monkeys. Holy
I wanted
shit.
to
Like I
say
told
that,
him,
but I
I've
didn't
never
like-
seen
but I
that.
didn't-
Oh
I
my
didn't
god,
say
you
it.
gotta
to watch it.
You gotta watch it.
It's possibly the best thing about it is the fact he has like a contact in that gives him like a lazy eye because
It's fucked up,
Okay.
dude.
the production of that
Fucked
film
up.
because they shot a lot of it in New York and it's Bruce Willis. I forget the female lead in that movie.
I
But
do
it's
too.
Bruce Willis. She was fairly popular at the time, and then fucking Brad Pitt right off the hype of fucking Interview with the Vampire. So like it was impossible for them to shoot anywhere. That shit was shut down. But like the cast Brad Pitt as he has this like fucking lazy eye, and for once he's not like the good looking. Like I mean he's still good.
Right,
looking,
exactly.
But, like,
He's
like
got
the very,
that
like,
one
it was-
defect.
He plays a psycho instead of being like
yeah.
the stud
I think
guy.
I've seen a scene where
It
Bruce
was,
Willis is in a car.
It's so great,
Like,
dude. Definitely check it out ASAP. At the top of your
Gilliam.
list.
Yeah.
Hey, out of curiosity, what were you guys going to argue if somebody chose Tyler Durden? How were you going to argue your way out of that?
I would
Tyler
if he would
Durden
have said
isn't real?
Tyler Durden, I wouldn't have gone Billy Bean. I would have gone with his cameo in Deadpool, where he's the invisible person. 'Cause
I was
think
just
that would've been
curious
good.
because you like gave a high five for not picking Tyler Durden, which I obviously assumed somebody was going that route. I mean, I was ready for it. But.
To argue against Tyler Durden,
I possibly if
Ed
he said
Norton.
Tyler Durden,
Ed Norton could have done the same thing instead of Brad Pitt. Like they
yeah,
could have
the
just
only
like
reason they don't use
like
the same
disheveled
actor
him.
is to like
get Brad Pitt.
to divulge the plot
Yeah.
or the spoil. Or the
He's
twist.
not the same he's
Yeah.
he's the same
Um,
person.
Had you said Tyler Durden though, I probably would have picked a different role. I probably would
You
have
both said
said
the same
fucking,
thing. That's so weird.
I would have said Inglorious Bastards.
fucking
had
love
you
it.
said, like,
Lieutenant
I thought-
Aldo
I thought there were-
Rain.
I thought there were so many great choices there, and I was very excited about that question.
I was actually
That question is also would be equally
That's a
as
good
good
one.
with fucking instead of Brad Pitt, fucking Nicolas Cage, because Nicolas Cage is also one of
There's
those
lots. There's quite a few that I could plug in there. Actually.
Nicolas Cage and Leo.
Could've
Can
done
I brought up
Leo, yeah.
Moneyball too? Like his Billy Bean character was great. Like it was.
I
See, I haven't seen
super rad.
Moneyball, but
It's
I'd like to
good.
because I heard Jonah
It's-
Hill
it was-
rocks the fuck out of that movie.
It's a great
Okay.
movie.
I almost
Great
thought
movie.
one of the war movies would have been Inglourious Bastards, but I also think that
That's not
I
a
didn't
war
think of it.
movie. To
I didn't
me
even think
either.
of it, but it
It's-
is,
It's,
kind of.
Can we get a score update for the audience?
Satire.
Oh, we got
Four
it.
and
It
three.
is. But I think
have it on screen right now.
That's
It is
also
4
one
to
of Brad
3.
Pitt's worst.
4-3, Rayner in the lead. So for the fourth speed round question, I want to know what is the best song of all time that closes out a movie?
Coal Miner's Daughter by Coal
By Coal Miner.
Coal Miner's Daughter.
Loretta Lynn.
Mickey Mouse Club theme song from Full Metal Jacket.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
If you want to go that route.
I haven't seen that movie in so long. That's why I had issue. Like I haven't seen Full Metal Jacket since like middle school.
We
Really.
don't have to look at me in the eye.
You picked
So
it.
I think the Mickey Mouse Club theme song is the best song to ever finish a movie because you go through this warish hellhole at the second part, third part of the movie, and it basically brings them all back together, and it brings them back to the beginning of the movie where they're in boot camp and they have to do cadences and stuff like that. Coal Miner's Daughter, that's just, of course they're going to end with that. It's not a surprise. Why wouldn't they end it with the title of the movie? The Mickey Mouse Club, like you don't expect it. It's great. Everybody knows that song, and I'm pretty sure in the theaters, if we were live, people would have been like M-I-C-K-E-Y. I heard the
ASMR.
first one and then the second one. Can you walk?
Some ASMR for y'all out there.
The next hour will just be joints cracking.
Probably do that too.
Oh God.
Okay, Coal Miner's Daughter. We're ready.
So of Coal Miner's Daughter because like that song is literally about her life, and that movie itself is about her life up until that fucking point, and it shows this equal balance of like her hardships throughout the movie. You watch all this shit. You watch her fucking fall from grace, and the last act of the movie is her fucking picking herself back up into writing that song, which is about her fall from grace. It's this beautiful fucking cyclical thing. It fucking works so well. It's the title of the fucking movie. You go into that movie waiting to hear that song. And you wait for it, and you wait for it, and you wait for it, and bam, you finally hear it as she plays the song to a sold out audience.
Yeah, you're expecting that song, but of course you're expecting that song. I think Mickey Mouse theme really brings back to the fact that these were just kids in a war, and this all brings them back together, especially even after killing women, children, soldiers, burning down houses. I think it just brings it back full circle as a movie. It's a great way to end it.
See, based on the way you explain it that way, I feel like you could really use any kind of fucking childish song to juxtaposition the like fucking content of the movie. Where Coal Miner's Daughter perfectly ties in with the movie and the story of the movie, and the song itself is the story of the movie. It just fits perfectly.
We're good? Dudes, that was a fucking awesome argument right there. I thought, this is what I thought. Holy shit, I would have never thought about the Mickey Mouse song, but you're fucking right. That's amazing. The fact that you brought up that it goes with the military cadence, by far your best point. This might have been your best argument of the night, actually. The Coal Miner's Daughter thing, I thought that you were, after he went, I was like, well, you're going to be fucked on that one. And then you gave it one hell of an argument, how it ties, how it's the title of the movie, etc. And I really liked your point of any child's song. That was a great attempt at his great argument. The problem is he explained why it should be the Mickey Mouse song. It's because of the cadence, the military cadence, and he's exactly right. So that point's going to Rayner for the win on that. That was an awesome last argument. That was really fucking good. For me,
If you wouldn't have said Coal Miner's Daughter, I would have never thought of that. Like, I was just like...
Man, that was a great...
See, I thought of Coal Miner's Daughter because that was one of the things I meant to bring up earlier in that movie is how excellent that movie ends, and then but you two were yelling at each
Is
other.
it
I couldn't
actually
get over
really
topic
good?
that argument.
There was lots of yelling.
I
I-
just couldn't get shit.
I
into that
actually
argument.
wrote, just for your own curiosity, I wrote this question based off of my answer, which would have been Bittersweet Symphony at the end of Cruel Intentions, which I always thought was like a super cool way to end the movie for lots of reasons.
I wish that movie didn't make me feel uncomfortable.
And that guy didn't make a. And the person who wrote that song didn't get a fucking dime off of that.
I
fucking
also
song.
wish that movie didn't suck.
I mean, it is what it is. I don't think it's.
Corey has a common argument for all of it, so that your movie sucks.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
But
I love
Speaking of
that
a movie
movie,
that
too.
does
I can't think of all
No,
the speed
no,
round
no.
questions, but Johnny Rico would kill Max in those.
The best part of Cruel Intentions is when
Oh, wait,
Ryan,
Rainer, come back.
is when Ryan Philby gets
Come
hit
back.
by a car and dies. Like that was the best part of it. It was so comical. Like that movie.
Ryan Philby was important
Before we
in the
go off
90s,
air,
and
you
he
gotta
just
get
wasn't
your belt
anymore.
buckle, son.
Oh,
But that movie was
where's
so
the
in-
trophy?
Oh yeah, the presentation.
I don't have a belt on though.
Yeah.
I don't either, so I'm glad I
You
didn't win, 'cause
won.
I didn't
You
even
should
own a
staple
belt.
it to your chest.
Let's do it.
Yeah, be sure to show
Put it in
the
your Iron Man.
be sure to show the crowd your fucking new dick shield.
Oh my
Fuck yeah,
God.
trophy.
Alright, bye!
Fuck yeah, trophy.
Can we turn this shit off?